It actually seems like we're friends.
We are friends.
We look at friends, right?
Oh,
jeez. Did we just become best friends? Tam?
Oh, I
Okay,
think
so-
we
I
did.
go off.
Let's go do karate and we don't have a
In
grad.
the sewer.
Let's go do some karate in the sewer.
I mean,
Oh man, that is echoey.
I told you it's gonna be echoey as fuck. We took all the walls down, and then just put up flat walls, and by which I mean took all the furnishings away, and it is just echo.
Yeah, we're actually outside playing this in a box that we constructed out of cardboard and coke.
I can't read.
Oh, it's Choco Taco Films. Why don't you
Choco
go-
Talking
don't you
Films,
have a
what's
dinner
going on,
call for
everybody? What is going on? Hey everybody, I'm Soul Rose. These are my friends. Welcome back to our continuing game of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. If it sounds a little bit like we're in a tunnel,
Because we are.
because
I
we
already
We're
told
in
them
the
we're
sewer
outside.
today.
I apologize for the audio
We're
quality
outside in
today.
a tunnel in a cardboard box of hope and dreams.
As I'm in the current process of moving, and therefore the place I'm currently in is primarily empty,
John says it's fine.
full of boxes, and I'm gonna sneeze, so I apologize for that.
Better mute yourself. Oh.
But
I scared
Okay.
the dog. I scared the dog with that sneeze. It's
Left
okay,
a little
bud.
rosebud on the floor, buddy.
He's like his tail's down, and he's just like frozen and
I like that he
froze.
got up and froze, and then he's like, alright, nothing's, and just sat right back down where he was. Good moving.
He was
All right.
listening for the threat. He was alone. What to pay attention to something like that.
All right, so shout out to Yusa for the sub, man. Thanks so much for the resub. What does it say? 2 months. Killing it.
Where does it say? Oh yeah, tier 1 for 2 months.
2 months. My hero.
Resub.
I gave him a hug yesterday. I can't read. Yeah, the screen is usually right next to me. Is now all the way on the other side of the room, so I cannot read it.
So it's my job. So good luck, chat.
I'll give him hand and arm signals from here. Something
I
like
know.
that.
What does that bartender do?
Hey, why did he do it? He's voguing.
The queen is just waving her arms everywhere.
So, you guys got anything to start?
The dog is making odd gestures.
Ladies and gentlemen.
That villain seems to be swollen with rage.
Crazy kids.
What? Announcements?
You guys got anything?
I do. Today, the last piece of my computer came in.
Yay!
So tomorrow after work, when I
I
got
also
to 5.
ruined the box immediately.
Oh, did you? The box was like a refrigerator-sized box. It was ridiculous. It looked like somebody threw it down 2 flights of stairs for a computer case. I mean, it's a big computer case, but it's not massive. But anyway, so that came in. So tomorrow after work, I'm building my machine, and then once it's up and running, I might stream on Thursday, maybe.
Well, we should.
Manic Mouthpiece, the name. That's it. Nice and simple.
We'll set
Don't spell it
everything up
wrong.
and send it to people.
Put it on
No, I will.
I'll put it on Discord.
Oh, cool. But at the very latest, the first day I stream will be Sunday.
Oh.
And Sunday will probably be a usual day for me just because I usually don't have things at work on Sunday. By usually, I mean often. By often, I mean most of the time. Because my schedule's all over the fucking place.
This is like a triple negative?
Yeah. Well, it's a gradient.
Okay.
Never, occasionally, sometimes, often, usually, often, always.
Got it.
Sure.
Or usually, often, rarely, always.
That was a dialogue tree.
Where's the escape
Did
option?
we need to meet Princess now? Or
Go.
No, you can't skip it.
Damn it.
All right.
Any safe.
Anything else? Anyone else? Last minutes. Bitches grab complaints. Eating a burrito.
I have
Another
heartburn.
7 dice.
If you're in the Discord, I'm in that in the sub Discord for this channel. Recommend what you think I should play.
Seaway. Oh yeah.
Good idea.
I have a ton of games. I'm not going to list any of them because
Dongs.
that's in a folder labeled Steam, and we all know how often we open that folder. I might just play Isaac and show people how bad I am at it.
I'm for it. I think you should do it.
Or I might play Stardew Valley because I've been meaning to play that. I bought it forever ago.
So fun.
That's what I've heard, but I wanted to play it on stream so people can watch all my really dumb, horrible mistakes.
And we need help with us.
I'm pretty sure actually you can play multiplayer too.
You can. I've been watching Ray and Tina play it
Nice.
together, and then they have a friend who I don't know, but I watch them play it, and Achievement Hunter's been doing it too. It's entitled. Their stream is entitled "4 Dudes, 1 Bed. What Could Go Wrong?"
That's how you get sticky.
Yeah.
All right. So, with that being said, any last minutes boop-a-doop down this line? You crazy kids over here?
He has heartburn.
Well, excellent.
Well,
Sorry,
what's new?
sorry to hear that.
Oh, nothing's new.
I
I have new clothes on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm
Days
trying to
like
bring a
this.
touch of class with his rose in.
Alright.
I think it's no, it's just Rosie.
Rosie.
That's rose.
Rose. Oh, I think it was the fucking.
Sorry.
Hey everybody, I'm Saul Rose. These are my friends. Welcome back. We're gonna do this all over again. Just gonna start from the beginning. I'm sorry. Alright, so, well, let's just jump into it. Let's get back in the game, huh? Last time on Dragon Ball Z, Frieza, Cell, joined forces. Alright, so, the party regrouped, recovered, encountered some strange new individuals along their journey. You reported back to the Duke the horrors of the ghost ship and regaled him with that information. You collected your reward and then were given access to the private beach to enjoy an afternoon of lounging and leisure.
It was nice. Things
That's
happened.
nice. You got your beach episode. That's what happened.
First
We didn't have any character
Yeah.
development though.
Hey, that's because it was beach episode.
But there was no volleyball.
There was not. That's not my fault.
You were the
Could have asked the attendance for volleyball net.
Can I get a guy named Iceman that's shirtless?
No,
Okay.
you're not goose.
So, you returned. Let's see here. As you guys readied yourself to depart, the Duke requested that you look into the disappearance of his sister, the former Queen of Alavra, whose disappearance coincided with the assassination of the former King and Prince. And then he cautioned against mentioning such things in amongst the Alavran social elite for fear of having you silenced or something like that.
It's okay, we'll hit level 20 and then we'll go back.
So, with that being said, you guys sent Theta sent a message to the Athenium in an attempt to requesting some aid, I guess. And the rest of you decided to wait around roughly a week, correct? Week and a half? Is that what the...
There else.
Yeah.
Okay, so, with that being said, we are going to go ahead and go through the week. So, we were going to start with Lucrezia.
I think we were on our way to the church.
Oh, did you want to go to the
Yeah.
church first before we fast forward
So,
through the week?
Yeah, try and get his thing lifted.
Sweetenly.
I imagine in the middle of that, I'm like, we're on the church. Anyway. Like,
Da-la-la-la-la.
Yes, I believe you guys
Sorry.
ended outside the temple of the Skybreaker,
well, we met the dude.
Father Faust.
Yeah, like I think we just met him. Because you described him. So,
Let me go ahead and get mine.
goodness.
Or someone described him to their characters.
Faust.
No
Father
tea.
Faust.
No tea.
Faust.
I must not have been
House.
there because I didn't write that down.
False in the house.
Yeah, no.
Where did you go?
I went elsewhere. That's right, that's what I did.
So I have a week.
I already have what you do.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm more talking to myself.
Okay.
Thanks for getting your jizz all over my...
So with that being said,
Inside.
All over it.
who is the just the two of you went?
I think so. I don't know, maybe Tam came.
Did you go to the priests?
I'll tag along.
I don't know.
Okay, so you tag along.
You're there.
You remember it being a smallish looking building with
I'll go too, why not?
alright, well, the whole ensemble arrives. You're greeted by an old weathered building. It's like a small church, standard looking high pointed roof. The outside seems weathered, ancient. The back wall is this beautiful ornate stained glass piece with a single long handled hammer and the sun rising
The
behind
blue
it.
hammer?
Huh?
The blue hammer? No, it's
No,
not. I asked this
steel.
question
It was like a
last time.
silvery color.
That's right. I was there.
Um,
Haha.
Now we figured it out.
You see standing there the gentleman who greeted you, the Father Faust, in his priest cassock with a montebow over the shoulders. no readily apparent regalia or symbolism. It's mostly just he's just wearing like this white old sort of like when it gets faded and becomes like sort of like a off-white tannish sort of color with a hood. And as you approach, he kind of comes out. There are no side rooms. This is just literally a square building, pews, and then like a sort of pulpit, and then that's it. But he approaches as you all come up. Currently, it is empty inside the church.
Really? Completely empty? Nobody in there? Not even a single soul?
And he's human.
He is human, yes. Older gentleman, probably 50s, 60s.
Hello, sir. I'm Tam.
Good morning. And then he like comes over. He like holds your hand, almost like not like going for a shake, but more of like he puts your hand in his and then he like clasps over top of it.
I'm gonna do.
And he's just like, and he bows.
My friends have, all my new friends, they need to speak with you about something. I don't know if it's a matter of faith or healing or something.
Please. And he invites you all inside. The double doors are currently pinned open anyway for open sort of.
This is awkward, so I'm just gonna wander around.
Oh, okay.
As he stands there, he's just.
Right. Well, sir, we were hoping to speak to you about perhaps some curse removal.
Curse removal.
Yes, if that was something that you felt confident in tackling.
Or even not confident. We'll take an amateur's attempt.
Well, the Skybreaker helps all, so I can certainly give it a try. I can certainly attempt to reach out and see. Who is it amongst you that is cursed?
I will. Oh, it is me, Father.
Oh God!
From the back.
Oh, by the way, he's got a curse on him. It makes him ugly. But I mean, he looks about the same to me. Just smoother.
Just smoother. There is a moment of reaction that is immediately quelled. You can see it in his like, and then like ease back into being like, no, I'm totally fine with this.
I do this all the time.
He plays
oh
it
my
off.
God, why please somebody help me?
He plays it off poorly. At which point he's like, and this is not your normal
No,
state
I'm
then.
certainly not born this way.
Okay.
It's Maybelline.
Well, come. And he brings you up all the way to the front to the very first pew and kind of like motions for you to sit down for a minute. At which point he goes up to the stained glass window. He makes some sort of like, he closes his eyes and kind of just sits there.
I just want to take a look around the church. What do the stained glass windows look like? What is their depiction of the Skybreaker?
So the only like stained glass window is the main archway one, and all it is a hammer that's being like backed by the sun coming through, and then it's like bluish. The other windows are your standard pane windows that are lining. There's 3 on each side, and then this whole area is just pews with like old wooden floor that creaks as you walk around. So as you're like meandering, you just but he just kind of sits there for a minute, almost like in thought or in prayer, one of the two.
Do you feel different yet?
He looks the same. How does he feel different?
You know, I feel a
Did
little
you ask
bit
if he felt
different.
different? Did you ask him if he felt different now? Like, as opposed to
Yeah.
before he was a person?
Okay. Sit and wait.
I think that's anger.
So you sit there for a surprising amount of time. As you're all kind of like chatting up, just giggling a little bit amongst yourselves, it starts to drag out and you start to like actually notice that it's like 10, 15.
I'm gonna make sure is his eyes open or closed?
They're closed.
Make sure you don't
20
fall
minutes
asleep.
go by. No, he just seems to be kind of like holding himself into one position. And then after about like 20 minutes or so, there's a moment, you're not sure if it's just like your own like delirium right now from just like sitting there for so long being bored, but you swear for just a moment that the glass is like brighter for a second and then just like calms down again. And you're just like, I don't know if like maybe a cloud went by outside, and just kind of like shined. But there is that definite moment where it just seems bigger than it was. At which point he just kind of sits there and he. Okay. Well.
God says no.
I will certainly need your assistance
Of course.
in this matter. At which point he, if you will wait here a moment, I will go and collect some things, and then I will return to assist you. But I do need you to stay here. At which point he kind of like, he approaches you for a minute, and he places his hands like, just like outside, you know, in front of you, and he begins to sort of mumble a little bit, like saying like a prayer. At which point he's like, under no circumstances are you to leave.
To leave.
To leave this building.
I understand.
Then he walks out. He begins leaving. He walks out of the building.
Oh, I'll follow.
He seems to, he exits out of the church. He goes down the road just a couple of places, and then a couple houses, before turning into a smallish sort of house that he lets himself into, unlocks it, he opens it, goes inside, begins, you hear like some shuffling around for a
Is there
moment.
window? Yeah. Oh, go to the window.
You go to the window and just pop your head. You see him like he's opening his closet. It's a smallish sort of like cozy priest's home. It's a small bed.
It doesn't make a lot of
It's-
money. It's just-
Yeah, it's a one story sort of little home. But he opens a closet and he begins grabbing buckets out, and then he grabs like a broom out and he closes it. And he like looks around, pulls the blanket off his bed, wraps it up, and then he comes back. He comes out and he closes the door behind him. Sees you.
Do you need assistance?
No, I think I have everything.
Oh.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I'll just walk next to him.
Could be worse.
And then he
Unless you have-
While we're walking back, I'm gonna say, so tell me about your
It's over
god.
there, but-
I mean, after the
Saint
initial
Orga the
shock-
Skybreaker. He's not so much a god as a saint.
It wasn't-
I'm a follower of Altea, and
And
one of her saints is the Skybreaker,
Hmm.
the great warrior orc of old.
Oh.
What makes him so special? Did he break the sky?
Well,
he
the
definitely-
name comes from the old legend where he single-handedly fought off giants and dragons with his great hammer and shield.
How big was the hammer?
Allegedly, it was the size of a giant's, which no one knows how he would be able to wield such a thing in a single hand.
Wait, it was an orc or a half orc?
He was an orc.
Oh.
And then he just keeps
Aren't
walking.
the, yeah, I'm just walking with it.
Yeah.
Aren't the orcs usually the bad guys?
Oh, yes. Usually.
Hmm.
Which is so strange for an orc to be elevated to sainthood.
Yeah.
Which is why he is
Imagine.
that impressive.
They made metal gods?
Metal gods?
Metal.
Summon cleric of metal.
I believe that's a dead cleric.
What about a screamo cleric?
No.
Metal?
A thrash cleric?
I know of none that are particularly metal. I know saints that deal with metal, that deal with creation, if that's something you're interested in.
No. 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 Well, I was keeping
Yeah.
pace with him.
He arrives at the back to the
I'll open the door to the church for him.
you guys enter inside, said Mangan. At which point he starts heading up to you. You can hear this like jingling and jangling of belongings. At which point he sets down the in the pew next to you. He sets down sort of like the blanket. And then he,
I'll stay here with you.
He grabs the buckets and then he sets one down at your feet. He sets the other one down at your feet, and he's just like, okay. Like most things, in order to gain the Skybreaker's blessing, you will be required to complete a task for him.
Is it opening doors?
It is a feat of strength.
Huh?
I will need you when I find one, forgive me, I will need you to fill these buckets with seawater, and I'll need you to bring them back to me
Of course.
to fill up a basin that I have to go locate.
Would the blacksmiths have a basin like where they quench weapons? We could use that.
I need to find one big enough to fit your friend in it.
Oh, a tub.
Yes.
Could ask the overpriced inn.
No, they don't have any.
Also, you wouldn't want to use a blacksmith tub because seawater has salt in it, and salt can ruin steel. So,
Oh,
For the
aren't they
troughs.
mostly made out of wood?
but
The trough that they pour.
it depends on how successful your blacksmith is.
Well, it's a small town, so I figured it'd be.
Hey, maybe they have the amazing. I don't know. I can't even continue that, but who knows? I haven't even seen a blacksmith here. It's probably an old man with a hammer. You know how long that would take?
No, it's a young woman looking for a mother.
Oh, that's right.
You
No, we
just
met
lied
her.
to yourself.
No, I just forgot because she wasn't important because she had bad information. Basin, need some help?
Yes, actually, if you all don't
I
mind.
will happily help you. You should go get the seawater and just get that out of the way.
Is that the feat he's got to do? Get seawater?
Well, I mean,
Do you-
am I good to leave then?
Yes. Now that
You know your
you've gathered all the things, you can use this broom as a beam,
yoke.
or you can just carry it yourself. I don't.
I'll take you up on the offer.
At which point he provides you with the bucket and the mop with the mop head still on it, and that's going to take you the primary.
Just remember, it's a
most of the day.
long walk down to the water and back up.
And you'll have to do it a lot.
Yeah, it's not going to be one trip. Yes, there are many people.
So,
I'd say be proud of who you are, but they'll probably form a lynch mob and kill you, so you
more
should
than
cover that up.
Yes.
I'll go with you. Just
As a bodyguard, don't carry the water for him, he's got to do that.
well, no, more as just
Moral support.
moral support.
You gonna point and make fun when he trips?
No.
Oh.
Moral
He probably
support.
doesn't want to meet with
You
you.
say, did you do
Moral
that?
Man, that sucks, you were almost there. Back to the ocean.
Oh no! It's trying to call you back.
So sad that I lost my keeper in the ocean. That goddamn ocean.
It's now your enemy. If you were
I
right
think you
here,
got a
that'd be
nice
your
scarf from Brazil.
Yeah, I really don't like the ocean either. We all have our.
salty
Ocean's
feelings in this.
Except there's a bunch of jerks in it that want to punch you in the face.
We all have our personal needs, so let's get you
Some water.
sorted out.
This is so much harder to tie.
Or better. We'll just say that's all.
Yeah.
We'll give you a minute.
Just go like
Put it
this.
around, put it around your
Yeah.
neck. As I
You
said. A
gotta
funeral
make a
veil.
face. You gotta make a face.
Then you gotta wrap it tighter so we
Ah.
can see your face through it.
Oh! And then like against it.
So,
Thing on! Let's see, just wrap it like a shawl. I think we can
That's what I say on.
it's good.
Yeah, Andy, we know.
Leave me alone.
Are you crying?
No.
Oh.
you're crying.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
All right, so Ma heads down to the.
It is. That's an announcement. It's his
I don't know if you
birthday.
wanted an announcement.
I'm announcing it.
It's been an hour.
Happy birthday. Quick chat. Say it.
Quick, chat saying says. So, you exit out. You have the large mop over your shoulder and the buckets on each end, just kind of like trotting on down to the water.
Goodbye. Best of luck. All right. Let's find that tub.
So,
I'll help you with the top.
Okay.
you guys go ahead and make an investigation check.
Yep. Dude. My instigation check
Yep.
is 23.
23. Yeah. So you guys end up going around with the Father Faust, and as you guys go, huh?
I didn't know he was going. I was going to chill in his shirt.
No.
He can't find a basin. He said he wanted help, but
Oh, okay.
he's a priest too. He's not going to leave it to somebody else.
So you guys end up going to the blacksmith. You don't find anything
Okay.
particularly.
Told you.
You go to the
I know. I was talking to her.
you go to the carpenter.
Oh.
He has basins large enough. He even has commissioned metal bands to keep them almost like barrel.
Oh, I was going to say, they're just like casks.
Yeah, basically.
That works, yeah.
Big open ones. You guys kind of shop around. There's a bit of a I won't say a haggle because the padre basically is like, well, we're not going to keep it. We just need it for a minute, and ultimately the guy concedes like, all right, you can just fucking borrow it for a minute. I know where to find the
I would
priest.
give him 2 gold for the rental.
He takes that more than happy now. He's not complaining anymore.
Yes.
So together you guys carry it out. Are you helping carry or what?
Yeah.
I'll help carry as well.
So the three of you kind of trouncing through the streets carrying this very large basin,
How big is it?
big enough to probably go up to his waist.
Is that
Like it's pretty big.
enough?
It's like a small tub.
Okay, I want to carry it.
By yourself?
Turn it upside down. Do this.
Oh, and then just run. All right, fair enough.
Don't let me run into anything.
And just
I will supervise my sure he doesn't like it.
all right. So
If he
together you
starts,
guys.
A metal-legged barrel.
If he starts
Yes.
like running
Scary,
into
yeah.
anything, like whatever side he's getting running on, like hit with the hammer, like hey,
Tang, tang, tang.
yeah.
The priest just follows behind you. Very.
Just a robot cackling in the darkness.
It's a much
You don't
scarier
get to see
sentence.
I mean, I haven't yet, but it's probably really possible.
It is possible. Anyway,
I have a
so
balance sensor. If it went out of whack, I would assume that would mean dizziness.
danger.
It's
Wonder
a
what that would-
fluid-based system, so probably
Okay.
the same as you.
Mr. Maw, I'm gonna need you to make a Constitution
So,
check.
Is there music?
Mom, correct?
Yes.
Hopefully I have music.
Where did you live, or what did you do before adventuring?
Check.
Yes.
13 or 16.
16. Okay.
Well, before I ventured, I worked as a soldier in my home country, but things didn't work out.
Was it fulfilling while you were doing it, or?
Deeply fulfilling. It was something that those of our number aspire to. But
Chocolate Taco said Merry Christmas, Andy.
thanks, man.
So is, oh, you were part of a order for
Yes. A guard order. Order of guards. I miss it sometimes. Met one of my friends though.
That's good.
Yeah, I should try.
You usually do.
Say la vie.
That's why you don't sleep with your coworkers.
I mean, I'd rib you, but I've got buckets of water. Yeah.
So, your first trip is relatively successful. It is already starting to kind of wear on the old body, but as you finally arrive, you see that they have sort of pushed some of the pews and towards the pulpit out of the way, and there's currently this large, almost barrel-esque looking tub that's sitting at the center in this building. And as you approach, the father motions for you to pour the water into the
Set it down. Bucket 1, bucket 2. Hook it back up.
and it's like that much full. All right, so go ahead and make a secondary Constitution check.
Do you have any plans for the future?
17.
17. Okay.
I do, but those mostly involve keeping everybody I know alive.
No, Google.
Yeah, well, I'm not very good at it.
Seawater is heavier
You also
than
have
water.
to
Fresh water.
expect them
Not
to
much.
be able to keep themselves alive.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, none of your friends are children.
I don't know they're important to me, Ted.
Yeah.
You're important to me, even though we just met.
I appreciate the thought. Just trying to get to know you.
I appreciate it. It's a step that I don't think anybody has actually taken yet. In our order.
What was your secondary Constitution check?
17.
17. So you guys walk along out of the city through the cobblestone road, out in through the like little thicket pass that's been taking you back and forth between the switchbacks that go down to the port side, 150, 120 feet down, and then collect the seawater and start making your way back up. As you arrive the second time, you see that the father's got his hands above the tub, and he's kind of like muttering something under his breath, and you
How?
arrive, and you begin to.
How big is this barrel?
It's about comes up to his waist, about
Like 3 feet?
about 3 feet.
So that's a lot of water.
Yeah.
So
Third Constitution.
A little less than 3 feet. I'm only 5'8".
yeah, but that's the type of barrel.
So
The
Legit rolling one higher each time.
So,
I'm
your order,
21.
did they teach you like
So
a
it
specific
looks
fighting style? Do you have a standard?
about 100 gallons.
Sort of. When I learned how to fight, they taught me with our native weaponry,
If he's
scimitar.
got a standard size bucket.
But
Usually a standard
yeah,
size bucket is
I
about
learned
2
to be a little bit
gallons.
more
The big buckets are only
stealthy.
5 gallons.
Oh, okay.
quick hit.
We're gonna say 5 for the sake of
Hold on.
yeah.
We haven't had the chance yet. The young lady with us, she has had it. Messing all over.
Well,
Yeah,
the thing
so
with
10
planes
trips.
is they're only good until
10 trips?
the actual action happens,
And that'd be 20
and they're all in the wind. So
pounds.
it depends on who could control the battlefield first.
Yeah.
20 pounds of
Having a
bucket,
plan
so
is
40 pounds
good.
a trip.
It's better to have a broad concept of what you should choose.
Jesus.
We usually wing it.
Hard, not down.
Usually end up winging it at the last second.
No.
Works out alright.
What was it?
Wow.
How many gallons did you say? 100 gallons?
It depends on what you're looking at.
It's 43
For
for a big ass for a beer barrel. Is 43.
I mean, I was looking at a ton barrel, which is a standard size of moving liquor around, and that's 250 gallons. 252 gallons to be precise.
I say 43.
I just did all the math on a 100-gallon barrel, though. And think about a fish tank and how much that holds, and the size of the fish tank.
Right.
A 25-gallon fish tank is like.
But also you
2
have
feet
50
across.
gallon fucking drums that are about.
So, number
21.
How big is
number
it?
321. So yeah, again, you guys chat. You move. You're starting to feel drained. You know, you're getting the aches and pains. Luckily, your adventuring lifestyle has lent yourself to more of a physical. You're used to that sort of exertion.
Yeah.
But
That one's gonna be fun.
if you had sweat glands,
Ew.
gross. I don't know if you do or not.
That's so crazy.
Things that are
Yeah.
really-
This uses the same terminology and says it's 43 gallons. The article I came from used exactly that terminology and said 252 gallons.
Yeah, I was like,
What were they, metric gallons?
No, English gallons is 36.
How many trips has this been?
That's not fair.
3. All right, so you need to make.
You know
you're
I'm
gonna make
chatting
a couple more.
besides, getting to know each other.
You're topping
I'm trying to keep your mind off of what you're doing.
it. Well, that too.
Aw,
I
that's-
appreciate that.
Do you want to make another one?
Yeah, of course I would make it. I'm gonna make all of them. Wish I hadn't.
I think that's cool. It was hot.
Wish it was. That's 6.
Okay. A 6. You are going to suffer a single level of exhaustion.
Woohoo!
That was number 4, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and make one more.
Switchbacks.
Yeah.
15.
Okay.
Go ahead and, if you want, feel free to ask me anything.
Damn, there's so much that I want to know about you. But
It'll keep your mind off it. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth.
Through your butt.
Lizard it.
Okay, don't stick your tongue out.
You know, just after your butt.
damn, why are you here? I feel like you could do more somewhere else.
Pretty sure I could do more everywhere, but I came here because I got bit by another ship and got marooned on a beach and wobbled my short ass over here.
Yeah, that shit's kind of an asshole. I'd like to kill it someday.
And we would need a ship that was loaded up with enough stuff and brave men
You know,
willing
funnily
to
enough,
sacrifice themselves, but
funnily enough, I don't think we would. We could get close enough on a small boat.
59 or 59 gallons.
Go ahead and make another one. You're just trudging along. Most of the day is passing, by the way, as you're all.
Ooh, that's super not great. Oh wait, this is
gallons.
at disadvantage, right?
Let's find out. Is it?
yeah.
That's 29 tall.
What's ability checks? So I imagine a constitution check.
Yep. Next one.
Ooh, boy howdy! That's a nat 1.
Oh my god.
Natural 1. That is your second level of exhaustion, and that was number 6, correct? Okay. You you're gonna keep going. So you're just trudging along. You start to feel more and more winded. You have to stop more frequently and take more drinks.
And speed is halved.
Go ahead and make another one. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, that's a natural 20.
Natural 20.
That'd be a
You
23.
went from one.
Wait. That's 10. 13.
13.
Aw.
13 still is a success. So that was number 7, correct?
Yes.
You will have one more to roll. This will be your last trip.
So, last question.
What was it?
Oh, that was 2 18s.
Yeah.
How do you
Nice.
fight? 21. How do you fight, Tam? What do you like to be? Front, back, middle?
The way I was trained is mostly to disable a person
Mm-hmm.
by whether that's shoving a sword through their forearm and breaking their arm, or hamstringing them. It's mostly to make sure that people don't get away.
Right.
But in the bounty hunter game, mostly you try and do non-lethal.
Right. Haven't done that yet.
No, it's easier when your people are like small-time crooks and stuff like that.
Fight any monsters yet?
The worst monsters, which are humans. Glad you like that.
I am napping.
You're taking a nap in the.
I'll like watch him like pray on the barrel for a while and then just...
Alright, as soon as I get the last
So this is the majority of your afternoon, and due to the
one.
slow down as you get the last one up, just being distracted all the way through, you helping him to keep his mind going. You arrive at the church just before midnight, as the town is like completely died out. You haven't really been paying attention, just like kind of like drone walking back and forth, carrying these.
Townspeople, he's got another guy doing shit for the church again.
People watch.
There's a well in town.
Some people have just been watching you. Just like, you know, hey, it's like you're just like the new spectacle for a while as you go back and forth.
That's big news.
Right now it is. Yeah, ain't shit going on. So
I'm crying talking about it.
you pass out. You've noticed.
Sound Crier old
Yeah.
Oh, he has to be.
or super young.
Young man.
It's like a 6-year-old.
Strumming all about something.
You've noticed that the priest, his like sort of like his hooded robe has been like set off to the side. He's removed part of the cassock, so he's just wearing like a sleeveless shirt and then like a thick, heavy like sashin sort of belt, and then these like capri style like pants that he's kind of changed into with these sandals, almost like gladiatorial type sandals on.
How does the cat look like?
There, he's shredded. This dude's jacked.
Oh, of course he is.
As you, he's
He's
a
not
priest
a-
of strength.
He's not a young priest, he's not an old priest, but he's a sexy priest.
Um,
I just in my head I just see Master Roshi and I don't know why.
I imagine more like the guy from Full Metal Alchemist, the fucking.
Yeah.
He's just got the beard and he's
Yeah.
huge
I just see an
barrel
old guy,
chested.
but then he's surprisingly jacked.
Yeah.
And to me,
Oh,
that
yeah.
immediately goes Master Roshi.
Well, he's more like late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah. So
Oh, is that from service? Because
Major Armstrong.
the other guy, the fucking the guy he always does the fucking flex competition.
Oh, you mean homegirl's fucking husband?
Yeah, like he's got like the barrel gut and
these are all Googleable terms. You're welcome.
Yes. So, as you arrive for the final time, he's kind of like gotten some of this other stuff out of the way, and then he has his hands over the barrel, and he's been standing there. He's like got sweat beating down. He looks like he's tired, but he's just like still praying. And you dump the last 2
Tear it off.
in. At which point he kind of like continues chanting for a bit, then he stops, wipes some sweat off his brow for a minute. And he's like, "Can I have someone get the doors, please,
Yeah,
for me?"
I'm on it.
Go close the doors. At which point, could you get down into your small clothes, sir? So you take off the sweaty.
If I can. I feel like they're probably not
Lovely
probably
sound.
super hot.
I bet it is nice sounding.
Very ASMR.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
You're welcome. Yes, Martine.
Right?
I like to
I'm just gonna take this stuff and put it on the
Here.
camera.
No, it's very like when everyone goes quiet, you just hear the ambience, that like reverberation sound.
I would listen to that.
times it
five.
is.
Deal. Cranial damage on one of Cleve's head.
An ASMR D&D
Yeah.
stream. Oh god.
I disavow
Your footsteps on gravel.
That was surprisingly jarring. That noise. It was very loud.
You're making all these noises.
So, you disrobe into your small clothes, and then he motions for you to get into the actual barrel itself.
Yeah, that's what we looked like when we were running away from the ship that was eating people.
Very cold.
Small.
Yeah, barrels.
It's very nice.
It is very nice, yeah, because
Yeah.
you're sweating like crazy. But you go all the way down. You kind of like just like sink in all the way to the neck, and slowly become a crocodile.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a crocodile.
Wait, I've
It's
seen
like-
this before. This is the part where he puts his hand on your head and tries to drown you, and then you resist him, and that's how God blesses you, right?
Come out of the water.
They call it a thing.
Do what?
How do you?
Baptism.
Yeah, that one. They even drown babies.
No, that's just a separate compound. They're actually trying to drown you.
Oh.
Actually, that'd be interesting. I can hold my breath.
I've got 20.
Good. So go ahead and submerge yourself as long as you can. And he
He'll be
does
down
his
there for a
usual-
while.
And then the priest
Okay.
leaves again. So you kind of go into like this Zen state as he walks out.
I'm just gonna look at the water and go,
He should be fine. You know,
Priest
we
comes
really
back like,
missed out. We should have got the lid from the carpenter, because then when he was down there, we could put the lid on quietly. He'd have no idea. And I think that would be hilarious.
after a few moments, the priest returns with what appears to be like a wine bottle and 2 cups, and he returns back into the church, sets it down on one of the pews, pours 2 drinks, and he sits down.
Nightcap.
Oh no, this one's for me. This one's for your friend.
I gather that's why I didn't drink it. I didn't think it was for me. You do this often?
No, until now I didn't even know what I was supposed to be doing.
Huh. How
I
do you
wonder
know?
if this changes every time.
How do you know what to do?
Just heard voices and saw pictures.
what is I apologize if this sounds strange. What does a skybreaker sound like?
I don't know. I've never talked to this Skybreaker. So I always talk to his emissaries,
Oh.
What do his emissaries sound like?
like choir of angels,
What does the choir of angels sound like?
like a choir of people singing.
How do you know
But
it's
like
angels
super
then?
good.
How do you know it's angels then? And not just
It's a
choir
feeling.
next door?
And they show themselves. If you've never seen one, they are majestic.
No. Mine is more logical and toothed, but not with like those being. It's a whole thing. You say words and pictures. Tell me more about that.
Well, any
We got time. Trust me. He's gonna be down there for a while.
any divine being is capable of granting its followers visions of events, future, past, present, or just information in general. Sometimes we hear voices. Sometimes you see apparitions or are contacted directly through dreams or prayer. In this case,
By
How do you pray?
well, I focus on who I want to speak to, which is the Skybreaker, and then I just talk, monologue internally, and I know he hears me.
You pray aloud?
Sometimes.
Who taught you to pray?
Somebody taught me to pray. I've always been kind of fascinated by this. I mean, I grew up here. My family isn't necessarily religious. I took over the church from the previous padre.
Why?
I just felt a calling to it.
Hmm.
I always felt connection with this place. It's not very popular of a religion around these parts.
I can tell.
Skybreaker's a god of war, isn't he? Or battle, at least.
Well then, with any luck, he'll be real popular soon.
And this is mostly what, a farming town?
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, yeah. I can see why there would be pushback or just?
What is Moss thinking in that barrel?
Everybody's head looks huge.
I'm charging my
I don't know about guys, but as long as you have a calling, I think that's good.
That's interesting. I don't get a chance to talk to many people of faith, so I was curious.
Just gonna hang it up.
You should go to Stall. They
Yeah?
were talking about it
Yeah?
a lot.
We passed by Ishtat. Somebody pointed at it and said, look, it's a big white city. I was like, oh neat. But we didn't go there.
I'm gonna turn towards them and go,
In the barrel. He's just pointing at you.
Oh, he's dead.
well, I don't want
What a shame. Let's go.
I'm just more worried about just seeing a violent eruption of bubbles. And then one of you guys the joke saying, no, he's fine.
At which point, as about the 15-minute mark starts to hit, and you can feel that like pressure kind of building. There's this weird moment where the Padre just, and then he like sits up with the drink. He takes a big swig of the wine, and then over the top of the barrel just spits this reddish sort of wine over the top of the barrel. You're like, what? Confused for a minute, and then he just like kind of stands there. And then as he kind of like puts his hand out and begins chanting, still holding the other glass in his hand, begins chanting.
What's he chanting?
It's almost like a low mutter, like really fast, sort of like.
I can't pull a language off of it.
It doesn't seem like if he was, it would be like just so fast that it's like an unintelligible sort of
Okay.
thing.
I was
So
just
it's up, you go to burst forward, and he grabs the top of your head and shoves you back down. Before you.
Wait, this is my favorite
So
part.
you just.
I will get very close to this barrel and watch.
And he's just holding, there's just bubbles. And then for a minute, you guys see, which he can't see, because as you're under the water, you feel like the pressure begin to sink in, and you feel like you're going to very quickly begin to inhale water. And as you look at him for a moment, the father is actually glowing for a minute as he's holding his head down, and he's still kind of chanting, and his eyes kind of gleam over with this like almost silvery sort of thread, and then the whole water just explodes upwards, cascades over the whole room, as you just feel all the water erupt from the barrel, coats the Padre for a minute. He gets thrown back for a second, and you stand up,
I messed up!
and he hands you the.
Do you have any idea how much
Liquor.
power is behind that? That's
Let's see
That's
that.
almost 500 pounds. That's over 500 pounds of water that was just dispersed everywhere.
Math is cool.
500.
What
Also,
does he
you
look
carry
like?
500 pounds of water.
He looks like a lizard person. However, as he
500
knocks back the drink, you just see it begin to sort of like, almost like, not necessarily peel away, but it begins to vanish from the front down. Almost like it follows the, it's almost like it follows the path of the alcohol as he drinks it for the last
Oh, that's cool.
little bit.
I guess you just have to have a little bit of faith.
Yeah. And
I
wine.
think it was the liquor that did it.
Padre.
What kind of wine was that?
Just water everywhere. Explosive barrel. Priest glowing faintly and dimming back down. I'm pretty sure it's the liquor.
Yeah.
No, that was something divine.
That was crazy. I should not have stood so close to the barrel.
Yeah.
That was a mistake.
Right?
I'm fine.
You're
Just
not
very
gonna
wet.
rust, are you?
No, I don't
your
rust,
your
actually.
affliction has been cured.
I don't
sir.
rest or spark.
Nice.
There's a father for that, or was that you?
No, that's just what seems to have happened.
The father knows that.
I should have done this before it got too bad.
Yeah, Lou.
Why?
Thank you. Grazie.
Do you have any apples?
Okay. So,
Lou.
I mean evil deity.
Anyone?
Yeah, anyone. Just evil.
Kanai.
Evil. Oh, I'm sorry?
Kanai.
Spell.
Canii.
Also, Hasidic.
Or Hasidic, yeah. From him, you just say, I need an evil deity.
Allow me to play Kanai's advocate here for a second.
Are you gonna be upset like that?
No,
Okay,
The
go.
Lord of
Kanai's advocate. I'm going to play the opposite side of this.
All right.
So say that he followed your advice, and the minute we stepped in this town, he said, "Oh, my kingdom for a priest," and he found a priest, and the priest cured him and turned him back into a person. When he thunked his face on the boat, he fell into the water unconscious, he would have died.
Maybe, or maybe we would have been fine.
No.
We don't know.
He probably would have drowned.
Thank you.
well, before any of that, after the boat ship, I was able to swim much better as a baby.
Yeah. So maybe it would have been a terrible idea to cure him early. Cog makes everything happen at the right time.
Oh, Cog, I'm going to bed.
Last me over the shoulder.
Mhm.
I appreciate your concern.
As time passes, events
We've
occur.
all learned
And it
things.
can't happen if they don't mesh.
Thank you, Padre.
He's like
Thank you.
wiping himself off and. Oh,
So
of
what do
course,
we owe you
Mark.
for the cure?
Anything.
Time.
I mean, that was a lot of work.
Really? Because we had somebody bring a friend back from the dead, and it was very expensive. So,
Not him.
Do
how
you take donations?
Yes, the church.
how many
owns
parishioners do you see? I don't know, a week.
If I'm lucky, 1 or 2 usually.
They tithe?
Sometimes.
I think
Well,
not the priest.
I'm gonna reach into my bag and I'm gonna pull out a stack of gold and I'm gonna give him 30 gold.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Thank you.
I'll give him 2 gold.
Where? Wow.
What a rich bitch.
I'm
Do you
sorry.
have a donation box, Andre?
He is the donation box.
I mean, we don't usually hand one out. Orca usually doesn't require tithes, but
No, but
the
money
building
helps.
probably
Yeah.
helps.
Is there anything you need done? Like anything you like any
Oh yeah,
tasks
like
or
a roof
anything?
fixed or a
Or,
door frame squared or
I don't have any of those skills.
pew polished,
Or any materials for anything?
Here's your
a
gloves.
sword sharpened.
Thank you.
No? Alright.
Just shake off like a dog. It's fine.
he
There's
gives you
already
the
water.
blanket to
There's
dry
already
off.
water everywhere. Don't worry about dripping.
Well, do you want us to keep clean the water up at least?
Yeah, that would be great.
Alright.
He
Take
kind
the
of
box.
sits. He kind of like puts
Alright.
he puts the gold in like his cassock and just kind of like wraps it up. He doesn't
Yeah.
have anywhere to put it, and then he just
After I finish using his blanket, I will put all of my copper, electrum, and silver, which is a substantial amount of copper, inside the blanket and wrap it up and push it over. If you need a number, I have it.
I do actually want to write it down for
It
later.
is 105 electrum,
Jesus.
You did all your stuff?
No,
Three.
All the drinks.
3 silver,
Electric's half a gold, isn't it?
and
Jesus.
418 copper.
Cool.
Still pretty sure you gave him more.
I gave him 30 gold. That's it.
Yeah.
No, you gave him 50 gold in Electrum. Over 50 gold in Electrum on his own.
I will clean up the water with the mop.
So yeah,
Bring
so
it out and back into the tub.
probably 57, 58-ish gold.
Well, so together you guys begin kind of cleaning up. The priest he has to leave to go grab more like towels to bring them back, and then like hands them out, and they begin kind of like taking the time to wipe down.
Mm-hmm.
You guys don't finish until probably about like 2-3 in the morning
That's
ish.
fine. That's where we're here to help clean up.
Yeah. I don't think that's
But when you guys are all done, he hangs like the towels over the back of the pews, and sets them down. At which point he's like, "Well, it was lovely to meet all you. Thanks so much for your donations and your time.
Our
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you for your time. We took all of this afternoon and evening, and we appreciate that.
If you would like to sleep
Also, he's
here,
looked funny for a while.
you can rest here if you'd like."
Oh,
Appreciate
fair,
it.
yeah. Take him up on that.
Okay.
No, that inn was outrageously expensive.
Okay.
He goes,
Thank you.
realistically, 'cause I did. And then he's like, "Well, then I will excuse myself." Kind of gives you all like a little bow and collects up, surprised by the weight of his clothing now.
Well,
Hey,
I'm gonna
Father.
go stop by the inn down at the bottom of the hill. What do you want? A nightcap.
No, the port.
Sure.
I
Well,
absolutely do, yes.
yeah.
It's been a very trying.
Can you go to the bar?
Wait, is it open?
The one,
It's
yeah, the
a
seaside
portside
bar.
bar.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know
It's
if
a
they
small town.
close.
Yeah.
I just go down there and ask them
Yeah, I'm gonna go with them as well. Hey,
Yeah.
Ma,
if they have a small barrel.
how many
or
steps are
A
there?
couple bottles of.
Booze.
I don't know.
You didn't count?
No, I was.
You did this like 30 times.
Yeah, but I was talking to Tam. We learned a lot about each other.
Still, if you
That's cute.
team.
I mean, part of
I
our
prefer
team-
rugged, but thank you.
Part of our team that we need to not.
We need a tryout.
I mean, he's fine. He hasn't tried to kill anybody here yet. I say
It's true.
he's
Getting
pretty
more
good,
than ample opportunity.
right?
to kill you.
I mean, so far.
True.
And weighed down with buckets.
Yes.
You're gonna head down and try to get a couple bottles of liquor. So you,
we're all gonna
Yeah, I
go,
think we're
right?
all going, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're just gonna go hold up there for a bit.
take a siesta.
Yeah, try not
So-
to carouse and then go pass out at the church.
Oh,
Yes.
you want to carouse?
I don't.
Pretty sure they're all asleep
He
anyway.
went to talk to somebody, got punched in the face.
Oh, yeah.
They almost killed him.
They did.
They really did.
'Cause he had
Yeah.
3 hit points, and they took 2 of them, or 1 of them.
Okay, so you guys head down to the exit out of town, down the little switchback trail, all the way to the port city, or to the port side of the town. At which point, the town's mostly dead at this time of night, but you can still hear faint rabble rousing from the pub that's down there. You guys make your way right to it. You remember from previous times having come in there, and you open the door to see skeleton remnants. Sort of people are waiting, or that the dregs are currently drunk in a stupor. The bartender, large individual, kind of like chilling in the chair, half asleep, just a mess of hair on top. Sees you kind of open it and then,
Hey, boss.
hey,
Hello.
hey.
3 bottles?
I'm not gonna say that. I almost said that.
Wherever you
Put any other pig on that.
All right.
Oh, I
Start
didn't mean
pulling
that.
off some
I didn't
just some
mean pig.
regular old liqueur, or like a vodka. You think? Pulls out 3 bottles.
I think he drinks good.
Big. 25 gold each.
Scoop them up.
I'll cough up for one.
Okay.
No, I got it.
So you guys
It's your celebration of life day.
pull out the coins, begin thumbing them out.
It's like a mall reverse.
75 total. And then bartender takes all of it. You. What is your passive perception?
13.
13. You notice that the bartender seems like amazed at how much he just like raked in. There are more prices. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But he like puts it all.
As long as we have the bottles. Do you want to drink here, or do you want to go drink out on the wharf?
Smells like- To be honest, no offense to you, mostly your patrons, kind of smells like this.
I just like looking out at the water, and
You could go hit the wharf.
I've had good experiences in Serpent's Bay drinking out on the docks.
Okay.
Then Serpent's Bay. Watch out for those cowboys.
Everyone seemed very pleasant to
Never
me.
seen the Sea Cowboys?
Oh, yes, I've heard of them. I don't follow football.
All right. So where are you guys going?
To the wharf!
Oh, going out to the old.
Yeah, drink outside like real. Oh.
All right.
I assume there's some sort of lamps there.
They have like the little
Yeah.
lantern posts out
Yeah.
there. So you guys exit out of the bar. You begin going
If it
through.
was pitch black, I wouldn't have recommended it.
What's our marching order?
I'll be last.
Last.
I'll probably be first.
Or do
Yeah.
we have to be like this way, or can we be like this way?
And
You
big
be-
long line.
yeah,
You
be
can be
long
however
line.
you want, but I'll be in the back of the group.
I'll be in front.
So the 2 of you are first in front.
Mhm.
You're kind of brushed past by a shortish sort of figure, hood up, stocky, wide frame, maybe like 5 foot tall ish. Just kind of like bumps into you and just like, get out of my way. He just like walks, just like stalking.
I'm gonna watch him go. Do I notice anything about him?
I don't see his face to him.
Make a perception check.
I go, Mr.
Make a perception check as well.
That's good.
19.
Okay. That is a 20.
20.
Nice.
As you both kind of like take that moment, this little like angry, shortish man kind of like trudges by. You take a look and you notice that like the bottom part of his face is mostly like just marred up. It's like cut up and it's been like sewn back together, but it's kind of like
Oh.
Kind
Been
of like stretch
folded.
marks?
yeah, like so it's all like stretched from like here to here is all like stretched closed a little bit.
Like badly repaired.
Yeah, and he just like and you see like part stubble on this side that like doesn't seem to grow on the other, and he's just like.
Is Mr. Bond?
And it's just, the figure just whips around.
Hello.
Who's asking?
Oh, sorry, your friend or your... I'm going to say your friend or compatriot, Mr. Solvarius, was looking for you. Or, not Solvarius,
He just-
sorry, Mr. Whatever month it is, I'm
Oh, you're that bodyguard.
Just like trudges away. Just,
Goodbye. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Take care.
Such a nice conversation.
He might
What a
be-
lovely person. What?
No, he just might stab us.
I mean,
Why?
that's fine. I've been stabbed before.
Well, he's angry, and he has a face that only a mother could love.
Don't worry too much, Tam. They have a way of
Pissing people off.
so,
What are you listening?
I am very frank and open with people, and they generally tend to appreciate it.
Me too.
No, she's lying.
I am open in
Frank
front of people.
And open.
Yeah, one of them always tells the truth. One of them always lies.
Guess who tells the truth? It's the robot.
Or there's also the old tale of,
Season on Robot in the Fists.
one of them tells the truth, one of them only tells lies. You know what you do? You kill
that's a
one
good.
of them,
That's a good.
you,
I like that.
one guy.
That's a much better idea.
So you guys head up to
There's
the.
3 of them. There's one that always tells the truth, one that always lies, and one that stabs people for asking tricky questions.
And you kill 2 of them. And if somebody comes out with knives, you know that's the stabbing.
And if he lies about it, he's a liar.
This sounds like drunk talk.
Yeah. So you guys head out to the wharf. You guys enjoy
We
the
have bottles of liquor.
the nice night air.
Imagine we're sipping on them.
Like 2. Is there still?
He
3
was
bottles?
still drink.
Okay.
Yeah, Miss Lou,
Yeah. Oh.
here, you could have the rest of this.
Oh, I-
Okay.
I'm very small and I don't...
Okay.
We'll split it.
Where is there still debris from the wrecking shit?
No, the
Oh, we're on the
the
opposite.
current goes the other way.
Okay.
It goes away from you.
There's no. Well, I look for
Debris.
2 things. 1, ghost ship. And 2, what do you
Tiny
It's a
tiny
pig.
Zomgax.
like?
Go ahead and make a
I think it's
perception
very
check, please.
No.
At disadvantage.
Ooh,
Oh.
disadvantage that?
Oh,
that's
you
so
fuck.
sad.
At disadvantage 8.
It was an 8, and then a
What is
20.
it? Perception or investigation?
Yeah, perception.
10.
You don't seem to see any signs of the ghost ship or any tiny goblinoids floating in the water.
Any tiny
I-
dead.
I imagine we're just making light conversation out here, and I'm gonna look up to the sky, and I wanna look for anything interesting up there that may or may not happen.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check, please.
So you want to do a trial?
20, not natural.
20. No, nothing immediately strikes you as.
No falling stars or anything like that. Okay, cool. I'm just looking out, and I'm enjoying the night sky, so it's okay if I don't see anything. It's so pretty.
Into the edge of the war. Sit down. Or a little out is okay.
Yeah, I follow suit. For
For the
the
homies.
homies.
Yep, go on.
For the homies.
For my homies.
I don't think you need a trial, Tam. But I know Lou. So
Are you
Lou,
sitting next to me?
Yeah, we're all in
Okay,
the war.
what?
We made our way here. You don't have to sit, but the rest of us is sitting
Yeah.
because it's a
You-
wharf.
you need to give him a trial to trust him. And I will ask for 2 stipulations.
Okay.
1, nothing life-threatening.
Well,
And 2,
Okay.
when he completes it, most likely flawlessly, there will be no further questions of his loyalty or ability as an adventurer or a bounty hunter.
Or whatever.
Or whatever.
Okay. I'll
Or
think on it.
just have the
I'll think on it.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay.
I keep me out
I don't know why I like just randomly. Trial! It's
Yes.
like they start
And you're like, wait, Lou, for some reason I just picture her coming and then just getting kicked off the fucking bunk.
Time to determine your fate!
Oh, and that said, Tam, when she inevitably trials you, try not to hurt her. Well, try not to break her.
I can't be broken. That's
I mean,
rude.
that's a bold statement.
That's how he fights.
Wait, how he
What's
fights?
going up there?
I don't know how he fights.
I do. I spent the most of the day.
Nice black mage shirt. That's one of my favorite Final Fantasy characters.
It's one of the best. And jobs. Unless you're playing 14, then Black Mage is like watered down and upsetting.
It used to be cool.
Tam, do you do anything with magic?
No. That's
Do you have
the extent.
That's so much
I work with poisons.
No. No, I got a rock. I need somebody to look at it, but it's not important. Shut up.
That's rude. We're
I have
talking.
something
No,
similar.
we're talking. You're interrupting.
Yeah, I have something similar I need looked at. Yeah, I'm not too much about the arcane or.
We had a turkey. It's dead.
When was the last time you saw a majestic bird?
Right now.
Yeah.
It's flying toward me. Though. I know it's supposed to. Ah!
You know, I heard a man in Darden say that if your hand is bigger than your face, you have a sickness.
Your hand's small.
I know, right? Yeah.
Scary. Did you guys hear that sound of threats in the distance?
We're drinking. I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
Okay.
As we stop, I just want to look over our shoulder just to make sure.
For what?
Good rats. Hooligans.
Yeah,
Ne'er-do-wells.
do no goods.
No, it's too late for that.
Okay.
Naysayers.
All right.
Already there.
If I don't see anybody, I go.
Do-batters. Haters, as it were.
Pictures. Ah, I did it. I'm sorry.
Gives us facing the wrong direction.
Yeah. Maniac. What is it? Oh, it's small.
Oh.
Well, it used to be.
Hold on.
Where did my books go?
I need music.
Huh?
New place.
Like, see what you're doing. I don't think I'm doing it right.
He's not. He's also, he is drunk. So maybe the
Are
thought
you
is,
drunk?
I mean, I'm a little bit, but.
So you guys
Yeah.
wind down the night.
Yes, I can get drunk, I can get cold, I can get crazy. I'm pretty drunk.
You get crazy. Not crazy.
Okay, so you guys wind down the night with your nightcap.
Lobby-doo.
Anything else before you guys retire?
There's an empty bottle and I throw it over the side. Take that, ocean!
If she,
That's
she
just
when she
way
goes
to-
to throw the bottle, I would like to try to snatch it, snatch it out of her hands.
Like, okay.
Yeah, I want to try to grab it. Like if I see her throwing something, I want to.
Sure. I don't even know. Make a
Yeah.
contested dex check. So,
Oh, of course. No, it's fine. That's when you roll 20s. It's cool. I rolled a 14, which would have been, yeah, that would have been amazing because that's like 21.
Natural
for me.
20 plus 8.
so she goes, she's like, "Huh," and then you like jump up, and then she goes, "Huh."
Ah!
Actually, here, let's be drunk. I rolled the same number. I was gonna roll at disadvantage because I was buzzed.
Becomes natural. Natural, bro.
Yeah.
But she's also like a little bit
But-
smaller.
And then you throw it, and I say, no, you gotta smash it against something.
Oh.
Don't throw it.
I was
'Cause if you just
punishing
throw
the
it-
sea!
Yeah, but it doesn't
It
care about the
stole
bottle.
from
No,
us.
you're just
Smash it.
littering.
No, it's
That,
not.
yes.
littering.
I mean, but technically we littered a whole ship earlier, so it's
Littering.
I don't think we did that.
no, we did that. We should have not littered the
mis-
ship.
Smoking the reefer.
It happens. It's a thing that goes on, but you smash it, so all the glass
I've never
pieces
been
fall to the
down
bottom of the ocean.
But I pretend to
And
be
then over time they get washed, and you
That's
get
how
really
far.
pretty little sea
It was
glass. that's
terrible
rounded
idea. I
in
got
and
two kids
stuff.
together.
It's
It's
like a
nice.
tribute to the sea gods.
Yeah, no, you make the
But
sea
it was
work for
fun
you.
until that
Make pretty
happened.
things.
Work for the sea. Sea work
No, that's
for you.
backwards.
Seaweed.
We should go back to the church and go to sleep before tomorrow comes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You think they lock it?
I mean, maybe, but it's a church. Sometimes those aren't.
Actually, I believe that's the sun.
no, no. The
It's
sun comes up
the
at
sun.
6:15 today, and we have
Time.
8 minutes before.
No, don't say that! I'm
So you guys begin
tired.
kind of like trudging up the thing as the sun rises.
No, he was right!
You guys go down the path. You guys make your way back to the Church of the
I'm
Sky
gonna hit
Blinker.
the sun!
You guys open the doors. The doors are closed, but they are not locked. And you open them up, and you have
Nearest pew.
the pick of the pews.
Yeah, I'll take the nearest pew right there.
I'll take the pure crossing.
Okay. You guys just saddle up, crash out for the night or for the morning.
Night. It's night. It's night. It's not night till it's not tomorrow until you've gone to sleep and woken up yet.
All right. So with that being said, as we start the next segment, it'll be the fast forwarding. So it'll be the
Sounds good.
week, the
That's perfect, 'cause
downtime.
we can
After
fast
the
forward
break.
and then break.
Yes. Huh?
Fast forward then, right?
Yeah.
I think I'll break fast forward.
No, it's fast forward and then break. So we're
Fast
starting
forward the
off-
break.
Yeah.
You said you wanted to do the sewers for the week.
Yeah.
in the
sewers
morning
and-
until noon, and then come back out.
And talk to Mr. Solus,
Mr. Solvis.
if I can find him.
Okay.
I will accompany him into the sewers.
So you guys are going to be doing the sewers for the morning. So let me go ahead and get my my little notes out for that.
Yeah. I'll see what's with you.
So every morning
And
for the whole week, right? You want to do that for the whole
in
week,
the
every
evening,
morning?
I want to find
Oh, it's not just a day thing.
Theta and have him come with me to go speak with Mr. Solus.
Oh yeah.
So we will do all of the little things. So for your exploration of the ye old sewers, I need one person out of the group to roll a I'm sorry, one second. Let me get my notes out before I lie to you.
Yeah, that's good.
I hope it's an intimidation check.
It certainly isn't.
Darn it.
It's
Trying
an
to like
animal
intimidate
handling
some
check.
sewers. So first thing, as we begin this narrative, let me get my thing here.
This is I'm trying to like my life as a king and my adventures don't listen to me. Alright, so there's a game. Well, Soul's pulling up the stuff. It's called My Life as a King, where you play as a king in Final Fantasy. And you're a little kid and you have like a fucking 6 p.m. bedtime. You cannot stay up past your time type child. And
I gotta find my notes. Where'd they go?
every time I get to late game, I have like maximum number of adventurers, they're all super high level, but they staggered because you get adventurers in layers, they don't take you all up front. And so even if you speed through it, like you still have one adventurer that's like 20 levels higher than the next. And so it gets to the point where you have nothing but high-end dungeons, and all of your adventurers are too low to do them, and
They're all
all the ones that
scaled.
are high enough to do it are like, no, I want to go to the starter area and just fucking clean house. And I'm like, no, go here. And they're like,
You're a kid.
and I'm like, ah.
Well, did I ever tell you the glitch I found when I played Assassin's Creed? I think it was Brotherhood. Basically, I had a dream of making an assassin's, just an assassin's brigade of hot bitches. So I was rescuing all the women from peril so they join your assassin's guild and everything like that. But there's a dude, and you have to rescue the dude because thematically he is necessary, which upset me. And so I got the dude and I was giving out assassin's contracts, and there was a 5-star difficulty assassin's contract that was murder the Pope. And I was like, and he was like a 1-star assassin. I went, no, hey bro, go just go murder the Pope. It'd be cool. It was like 7 levels higher than I was in the entire thing. And I was like, go murder the Pope. And he was gone, and he was gone forever. And that mission was on standby. And I was like, man, he's gonna die eventually. Like, thank God, I got him out of my hair. So I went on my life, played the games too, and I got to a certain point in the game, and he shows back up, and he's like, hey, I'm back from that contract you sent me on. And I was like,
Did he do it?
you did the #1, like the hardest contract in the game. So if you ever need to beat a really hard contract in Assassin's Creed, send that dude to do it before he's back in your thing, and he has to do it. He went out an apprentice assassin, and he came back a master assassin because of the amount of time he was out and the amount of experience. He literally came back like a 3-star, was like the highest they get or something. Assassin. He was just like, yo, and I was like, I was trying to kill it, and then he was 3 stars, so I couldn't kill him on any of the missions because he was too damn good.
Yeah, unless you did the best one.
Yeah.
It's gonna kill you.
So mad. Got
Which
notes?
one of y'all? Yeah, I did. I found it.
What's the?
All right. So first off, when you guys scour the city to begin your foyer into the sewers, you discover that the sewer covers are basically these big metal sewer manhole covers that have the twist and locking sort of headpiece with a large padlock on them. And when they're laid down, they're flush with the ground, so it's kind of hard to prime. But who is going to attempt to pick the locks?
I believe that should be me.
Oh, you're fools.
I do.
But you're not going with us.
Yeah.
No.
I already said I was.
Yeah,
When everybody
Okay.
decided to go,
Go ahead and make
a.
a check with your thieves' tools, please.
Don't worry, I could also use thieves' tools.
That's not great, but that comes out to 13.
13. You begin manipulating it. It takes much longer than you would have initially wanted, but ultimately,
Yeah, shame. It'd be shame today. Not exactly. Shame.
you finally manage to click in the twist the little tumbler, and it unlocks. You guys take the lock off, pull up the handle, spin it, which causes the locking mechanism to pull inwards. You guys working together pop the manhole cover off. It immediately releases this smell of like seawater combined with waste.
Don't worry.
Um,
I'm gonna take off my clothes, or my fucking armor and my shoes. And
Mhm.
put those in my bag.
okay.
Um,
So-
when we pull it off, I would like to inspect the manhole cover and see if I can figure out what kind of like how that mechanism was made.
Sure. It's a base cylinder with the two.
No, I know, but I'm just trying to figure out if it's like if they hired in dwarves or manhole covers. Everyone knows there's an adventure under each one of those.
You are not
Yeah,
wrong.
we're getting wrecked.
You are
That's
not wrong.
Isaac. Good.
So as you
Yeah.
pop it off, you look easy enough. It seems like a simple enough mechanic.
But it's not. It's not like fancy or like
I mean, it's pretty fancy.
artisan or. I was just trying to figure out if there were any craftsman marks on it. Like if I could tell if this was dwarvish or if this
No.
was gnomish or
No.
elven or something like that.
That
It
was
was
the
just
previous blacksmith.
some jackass slammed it together.
You know, it's just like a thick construction. But you lower yourself in, and you want to spend the morning from. Well, actually, you guys today you would have woken up super late, so
Yeah.
you want to
Just a couple hours.
just a couple hours.
Yeah.
All right, so
I woke up
you.
with like 2.
I need whoever's going to be making the checks
Yeah.
can do so at advantage because you have more than one person. But we're going to start with a stealth check. So who wants to make stealth check for the group?
Let me just roll for that. That's a 7, which means it's a
Advantage.
14. Oh, at
At
advantage.
advantage,
That's a 6.
Wait, is that another second?
That's a 6. That's the dot underneath. See the 9
Oh,
dot.
no.
14.
Okay, and then who wants to be the be the perceiver for the group?
We're all blind.
Oh.
And you're all can't see in the dark.
I got it. I can. Bat now.
I can again.
You can? Okay. You
Because
should
of
probably
that.
do it because otherwise I can't see. I got Belvin now. 19. And 19.
What are you doing there?
Oh.
19.
Is 21.
21. Okay, and then the last person, anybody that wants to look for Shady Shiza, who's going to make the investigation check for the group.
There's
Got a 1 for investigation.
I mean, I'm good on investigation. Let's see what I do. You good at that?
17.
17. Okay, so
Any
you spend
novels?
you spend a couple hours futzing about.
Oh, no.
I
Yeah,
got
we
an
fight the
overconfidence
dragon.
here, so we all know it's a slow and insidious killer.
Okay,
I just
So you
have
spend,
stuff sticking between my toes.
you descend down into the intricate sort of sewer system. You know that this is recently constructed and seems very well constructed for its size. It's so recent that the like roofs and ceiling almost seem relatively untouched by wear and grime that's like built up over time.
If it's recent too, and they probably haven't had a lot of flooding through there. So.
So you have you basically have as you go down you're in like an entrance hatch basically. You descend down and then you round a corner into what appears to be like a large door, wooden in construction but not locked because they have it locked upstairs. So you pop it open easy enough and then the smell hits you.
So it's like a stairwell that has access to the sewers. Oh,
Correct.
That's cool.
So
I like
you
that.
you pop out into a 5-foot wide walkway on one side, and then about maybe like 8 feet of water separating you between another walkway.
Okay.
And it's this large sort of intricate network of tunnels. But down here you
This
Here-
is not good for my ankle. We're gonna
you
use-
hear water, you hear the skittering of small creatures.
Magic sword
Um,
to cleave pieces of this to masks.
to cover
I don't
themselves.
need one.
How can you help Colorado?
Because you're drunk.
You're youngish, right?
Yeah.
So
She's younger now.
I have
Oh,
You got,
Oh,
you got
you
a
should
rejuvenation
not.
potion.
yeah. Yeah.
You change your age?
I kept it, like, because my age is still.
Oh, you write your apparent age too.
Yeah.
Which you look like 16. Yeah. Not old enough to drink. That guy shouldn't have served us, but he was a port bartender, so it's shady.
He also served a child with a beard.
Additionally, I think in a port, if you can ask for the drink, you're old enough to drink it.
See above the bar.
No, that's that. No, we have gnomes and dwarves here. If you can ask for the drink, it's yours.
you guys all discuss as you meander the tunnels here. Looking around though, with these neatly constructed, you see that occasionally you'll hit these like sort of like grates in the water to prevent like large things from like basically plugging up the holes that lead out to the sea ultimately. But you meander around for a couple hours down here. You don't seem to see anything too crazy. However, who is the perceiver? You were?
I'm gonna turn my smell off.
Yeah, just like stop smelling.
Yeah.
You notice, one thing does strike you as interesting is you notice that there are areas where everything is cleaned. Like perfectly clean. Just untouched by grime and grossness.
Like scoured? Or like it just never got dirty?
Like it's been like scoured,
Okay.
like cleaned.
Meta, I have a guess as to what that is.
Point out to the
I'd
rest
like,
of us.
Yeah.
yeah, I'd like to investigate.
Balvin. Light.
The mouth is just hanging open and then light erupts from the eyes in the mouth.
Yeah, it's been clean.
Okay, what are you doing?
I'd like to just investigate it, to see if it was by somebody cleaning or something else.
No,
Okay.
you don't clean sewers. No.
Make a history check.
Well, you clean them if there's a problem.
Yeah.
Is it like,
But I mean, I guess you wouldn't scour them, you just
the places
unplug
that are
them,
clean,
wouldn't
is
you?
it like a wall, or is it like
History?
a grate?
Oh, 17.
Like the whole walkway. 17.
The whole walkway?
It appears to be cleaned pretty thoroughly. However, you do know that there are creatures that can also clean and are usually used as some sort of sewer system.
What happened to those creatures?
Oh yeah, they're called gelatinous cubes.
I will explain that to the group. Gentlemen, lady, there may be some kind of oozy gelatinous cube down here. I do recall they use them as cleaning.
Wait, I've heard that you shouldn't fight those because they ruin your weapons and your armor.
Well, how about we call it a day? We've explored it. What? And this hangover is kicking my ass.
You know what we should do? For
And the smell of feces?
Yes, for the rest of you,
Mhm.
we should stop by anybody who sells herbs and see if we can get some lavender. And you can put it in a pouch and you put it over your face.
So it could smell like shit in lavender.
Yes, which is better than smelling like shit.
That's true.
Marginally,
I'm
but
just
better.
gonna go to the port
We'll head out.
and scrub myself in the seawater.
Yeah.
I will head back out with them.
Okay, so you guys exit back out and close up your manhole cover.
Yeah.
Locking it up. All right, what are your downtime activities? Explore the sewers.
We want to find Mr. Solaris or whatever it was.
Mr. Solvis.
Solvis, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna wash myself first. and then
Yeah.
go.
Griffin feeding.
Yes. If I notice him washing himself, I'm gonna wash myself.
Mark off your the meat that you use,
I think I have to buy more.
and I need both of you to make animal handling checks, please.
Yeah, so I go buy meat. What's it, 2 silver? Is that what it was?
So yeah. that's
Andy?
2 silver each,
Go
or
this
just
Four. 2 silver steak. which is
4
okay.
total.
Total.
Okay.
Okay. Animal handling, you said?
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna turn my smell back on. Once we're out of the
18.
sewers. Maybe that's what prompts me to wash myself. It still smells terrible. Gross.
Just fucking gear and oil comes up, or gears and oil.
Uh,
Even though that's
Years,
not a
oh!
No, it's
yeah,
just
it's
cartoons.
when a robot throws up. Yeah, he throws up gears, but in real life, when a
Yeah,
robot
he-
throw up like gears,
That's
that's a
That's
problem.
why I was like, oh no.
If it throws up oil, sure, that's just changing it out. It's extra fluid, but like when you throw up mechanical parts,
You guys head out to spend the afternoon messing with griffins. The two of you head down to interact with Mr. Solvis. What would you like to discuss with Mr. Solvis?
What do you know about shells? Are there any like lore or stories about magical shells that you know of?
Shells. This is interesting.
Shells.
I'm also interested.
Like conch shells.
Turtle shells? Conch shells?
Conch shells.
Conch.
Conch?
She sells? She sells?
I'm from a landlocked state, but yeah.
They're wrong about all of those shell things, and all the clam things, and half of the fish things.
He looks you dead in your eye and he goes, nope.
Wow.
Are those the ones that you can hear the ocean on?
I'm pretty sure
I've heard that.
if you pick up a woman and hold her to your ear, you can hear her scream.
Ah, yes. I know that from experience.
That's not something you should say to public.
Though, have you tried blowing in it? Are those the ones that can make noise if you blow in them too?
Conch shells, yes, if you find the right ones, but usually you want to shave down at the end because it's not really a mouthpiece.
Gross.
Whoa.
It takes a lot of preparation, more than you think. Mostly tribes and captains do them,
Oh,
but usually
I
captains
saw
that do them are
Mr. Bond.
pretentious.
By the way.
You've seen Mr. Bond.
Oh yes, we did.
Where's he
was
hiding at?
We were dock drinking at the end of the wharf.
Oh.
At 2 in the morning.
And he just looked.
What do you do at 2 in the morning?
Recover, I guess. Or sleep, mostly.
Have you been trying to
You're
sleight a
not
hand,
living.
or is it just not working?
Huh?
I said, were you trying to sleight a hand, or is it just not working?
Not working. That's bad. So he was down by the dock. Wait, we're by the dock.
By the between the bar and the end of the work.
He's down here, huh? He's somewhere. I'll find him.
I agree. That is likely to be somewhere.
I'm glad that you saw him.
But remember,
Mr. Solvis knows a lot about stories, so maybe there's a story about your rock.
no, there's definitely a story about my rock.
Yeah.
No, I mean I already know the story about the rock, but I feel like it might be importantly imbued.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know about stories.
You could ask him about it.
I'm
Show him
sure.
the rock.
You know any fun stories from Batella?
From Batella.
Any recent fun stories from Batella?
I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Regarding, there was a cult there. Is that what you're talking about?
The laboratory.
Was
There was a cult there, yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Dream. They were dream something. Dream people. They like
It's got
dreams.
super shaky.
Yeah, I know. Dream people.
Oh, I heard about that. My friends went. I think it was dumb. They brought back children. Somebody's pregnant with purpose. There's a whole thing.
What?
We lost a friend because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Her name was Celiana. I knew her the longest. We met. We met in Theridon. And we got on a boat. We were on a boat for like 3 months before we met anybody else. I got to know her pretty well. She put up with me. It was pleasant. We got here. We had some fun. Our friend died. We brought her back to life. We fought chickens, lizards, and we accidentally set a barn on fire. No, we found a barn that was on fire. That was it. And we went in the woods, and
I'm not setting people on fire.
it was terrible. And then they went to sleep because she had a ball to load, and then like 2 people came back. Well, 3 people came back, but 4 people came back. But then 3 of those people, 2 of them were children that weren't human. They weren't any of the races I'm familiar with. They went off to live in a little house in Patella. So if you go to Patella and you see little people with elephant trunks, say hi. But they stole my friend from me. I'm kind of mad about that. Because I keep getting friends stolen from me. Shep stole a friend from me. He was my second oldest friend. That's bullshit. Spent a lot of time going from town to town. And it's, people don't like me. And it's annoying. But then people tolerate me and it's nice. And then they die. Or they get pregnant on purpose. And it's frustrating. Anyway.
What was this about a rock?
Pull up the rock. This is the rock.
What kind of rock?
It's that cobblestone from the street.
Oh. He looks at it. Can I?
Yeah, no, go for it. I mean, you can't do any more harm than what happened to it did. See how the top is kind of concave?
Uh-huh.
That was an explosion. There was a person in it. His name was Caleb. He was about 6 feet away from me when he exploded.
Ooh.
That was the day with all the lightning and all the crashing, and there was a big explosion. It was really neat because if you stood where he was, you could look around and you could see the geometry of it. You could see the lines coming out from it. And this was at the very epicenter, very, very middle point, the penultimate point of that detonation. And I figured it might be important, so I cut it out of the road and I took it. and nobody cared, which means that it's okay.
So you made a pothole.
He
I mean, there were plenty of other potholes, but yes.
he sets it down and he's like, I know nothing about that.
Now you don't know magic at all? You can't do what they do?
No.
No.
Sorry,
Fair. I mean, it's the same for me, look. Doesn't do anything.
the dog jumped.
I scared the dog.
He's like, yeah, I don't know how to magic things.
That's okay, me neither. I'm just looking for somebody who's not crazy or absent-minded, which is really hard in the magic community, as I found.
Both things. Eccentricities follow them around.
Yes. I know a guy who lives in a flame. I know, right? It's nuts. I sent him a letter from here. I really hope I hear back from him. Because otherwise, the ship that we were supposed to take home got eaten. So, we're kind of up shit creek. You got any weird stories?
Oh, I'll tell you all kinds of stories.
You
He,
speak any
uh,
other languages?
Him?
Yeah.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Or did
I'm
you ask
asking
him?
him. I'm straight up.
I speak a couple languages.
Huh?
I speak bad Elvish.
Oh,
What about good Elvish?
No.
good Elvish
no.
sounds like this, and then I'll say like 3 sentences of good Elvish.
Something about. There was like an and in there, I think, right?
Oh yeah, it's a couple hands.
Okay, so yeah.
Oh,
I said the farmer chases his wife with a shovel, and
I
everyone-
thought there was.
I said-
Sorry.
No, no.
I said the farmer chases his wife with a shovel, and everyone laughs.
Yep, got the ands in that one. Sure did. I can say like 3 words in Dwarvish. Fuck. Oh wait, that was common. Never mind.
Oh wait.
No, in Dwarvish,
Redneck
that's
is the only one I got.
confident.
Redneck. That's rock.
I'll say fucking Dwarvish, like, no, it's this.
It's this. He's like, oh yeah, that one. I know that one. I knew that word.
That's a good one.
I've been called that a lot.
Meant for inflection, that one.
All right, so you guys chat up with him. He will tell you a story about a sailor recently whose ship crashed in the middle of the ocean against a temple or a building in the middle of the water
Where?
off the southeast coast of Batella.
That's on the list.
Guy said it was like the craziest thing. He said they were just trudging along, you know.
We just hit a reef, and then it turned out to be a temple.
They thought they hit a reef, and then looked over the side, and lo and behold, like the opening to a building. They went inside for like 3 seconds, and then went out screaming.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I mean, children do that all the time.
Yep. Test of courage. Then it failed. But anyway, so yeah, you guys spend your afternoons doing that.
Yeah, just chatting with him, and I will ask him if he has heard the story of a pug-nosed panther.
What?
A pug-nosed panther.
He is ready. So you regale him with.
I'll tell him about the contract that we picked up on it, and the fact that they said it was very dangerous, and the fact that we never found one, but we heard things moving through, and that we found a footprint the size of a carriage. And I'll say just north of here, and then I'll amend that and say, actually, it's
Like this
35 days north of here.
All right, so that's what you guys do for the remainder of your
30 days north.
your
Yeah, 30
day.
days
So
north.
that is day 2 down. What would you like to do for day 3's?
How did our griffin stuff
I mean, you don't know how it went, but everything
Why
seems
don't
to be
you talk to them
copacetic.
about their feelings?
I would like to do 2 things. One, I'd like to offer you a long sword. It's bad. It's literally anything except long.
I mean, Ma, I like you. I really do.
This one.
I just don't think I'm ready for that level of commitment.
You can have this because I'm not very adept with it.
And I'm going to warn you, because it was hilarious for us, but I feel like it would just be a waste of money. If you buy a sheath, you should probably buy a metal or a stone sheath. Because, oh boy, he bought a leather sheath, and that was the greatest.
It fell straight out.
He put it in, he let go, and it was
Almost
like
took my fingers.
it was like it fell through fat on the side of a cut of meat. It just went straight into the floor. Everyone laughed.
I'll look after it.
Careful
along
with
with
it.
you guys. If we decide to part,
You're more than welcome to it because I would then like to go to Griselda's. Or no, not Griselda's, the blacksmith, which actually doesn't have everything.
I mean, she does
Usually
usually
the
for
blacksmith.
blacksmith.
I think of a short sword.
Okay, yeah, easy enough. You get one from the young lady. She seems a little weary of you and your company now. However, she sells you a short sword.
Sweet.
It's going to
Why would
run
we do?
you four gold, I believe.
I'll buy that.
Wait, let me double check before I lie to you.
Oh, 16 gold.
Oh, I was wrong. It is 10 gold.
Oh!
No, I'm sorry. That's actually just the base price of the weapon.
Still a slut.
So aggro. So, you pick up a short sword. Get that.
Do we want to go back to the sewers? Explore some more?
Probably.
Um,
I have a long sword too. See? And I'll show you just the hilt of a sword on my I have a X-Bandler. Just the hilt of a sword is hanging out on one of the circles. There's no blade on it. Ah, long sword.
Okay.
all right. So, that'll be day 2. So day 3 picks up same thing as before. So you guys want to make your checks for the sewers
Yes.
for the morning.
Let's try some still.
And
That's better.
Lucrezia, are you going to be carousing for this week? Because it's going to be 10 gold per night that you
Oh,
carouse.
wait, maybe not then. Hold on. Wait, like 10 gold per night?
Yeah, so in order
You can't afford
to
to
carouse,
carouse.
it's ostentatious partying. So you have to pay up
With
to
a bunch
the
of old folks.
10
sailors.
or gold, 10 gold is in a platinum, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 10 gold to a platinum. So a
I
platinum
can
a
do
night.
that one night.
Okay, you want to do that one night?
I did that
Bag,
recently.
200 gold.
I caroused on Friday.
No,
It was
she used it
expensive.
to buy a fucking
Oh,
hatchet.
To
for...
buy an axe
That's
for
right.
Theta.
She did.
I
She
tried
was
to
all
help
her
her
money.
out. I know, that's why I didn't want to do it.
And she didn't ask for any more, so
Wait.
Hida doesn't know she's poor again.
And she has.
I would like to go to Griselda.
I don't want
Okay.
to.
Good. Then stay poor. I'm sorry.
Open the door, point at her, and
Stay
go,
I
poor.
think you're
how much was the bird calling staff?
400 gold.
350.
I almost did the thing where they just start going up. You know? Randomly. It's like, I don't know how to haggle.
250.
350.
So
5 gold.
150!
I don't understand.
345. Deal.
Ah,
She rolled a natural 1 on her haggling.
nice. I'm sad
She
got out
she
of
goes over and
300.
grabs the staff and brings it out to you. You pass over the gold to her. She takes it. She heads out. You're gonna need the book for that.
Hashtag adventurer
There's
troubles.
a 14 4-out perception in the sewers.
Okay.
So,
Are you going solo?
so
No.
hashtag adventurer troubles.
Right.
We're all going to the sewers.
Yeah, we're going to Shit Creek. I will turn off my spell preemptively. I rolled my stealth. It's baller.
Okay. So your second day,
Everybody
technically
else has
in the
full
sewers,
advantage.
goes again unabated. However, who rolled for perception?
Me.
Nothing immediately seems to strike you
I'm
as
sorry.
If it helps, I rolled a 25 for stealth.
it does. Whether or not it sees you.
Done.
That's Xanathar's, right?
Xanathar?
Staff of Bird Calls.
Oh, probably. Yeah, sounds right.
Boink. Also this thing.
I didn't know you actually had a thing.
So do we need to change your name to Ingus? You're gonna start selling
The Disney princess.
woodland creatures.
No.
So, apparently, in order to be a Disney princess,
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of stipulations.
you just need a dress and an animal companion.
For what? D&D?
There's more rules than that.
That's what I thought too.
You
Or
have
what?
to be not no. You have to not be foul mouthed and no visible tattoos or markings of any
Wait, are you talking
travel
about
otherwise.
in... What are you talking about?
Disney princess.
Like in like Disney, like
In the
real
Disney
life,
universe.
or like in
No, I'm talking about
In the Disney
our,
universe, like,
as far as the Disney Princess Initiative is concerned.
Well,
So-
as far as Disney's concerned.
Your second foyer into the
Yes.
into the sewers yields no result. However, walking around, you do happen to notice that there are more areas that seem to be spotless.
Like more than yesterday or more in general.
No, more in general.
Okay.
It seems to be like
Are we
spreading.
in the same? Like, did we get deeper in, or did we? In the
Yeah. You slowly increase the area that you're
Can
exploring.
I don't know if it's part of his perception thing or not, but I want to look to see if there's any like hidden doorways or like cracks where there could be
That's
doors.
part of the investigation.
Okay, I didn't know if that was like.
Well, investigation or perception? I just do perception.
Yeah.
No, I said there's one more for investigation.
Yeah.
So
That
So if you'd like to do it.
Go ahead.
is, what was yours?
Mine's
Harry?
only one.
Okay.
Cause I'm huge.
10.
10. No, nothing. With everyone's assistance, you guys are checking for, any signs of strange
Scooby Dooing around.
Scooby doing around. Zoinks, like, hey, Scoob. But no, ultimately the sewer exploration seems to be fruitless so far. So that is day 3's sewer exploration.
So far.
Side note, in
we
chat, Bible Thump is one of my favorite emotes.
Bible thumb.
It's Isaac's face just crying.
All right. You gonna carouse this evening?
Yeah. Well, the one time.
So go ahead and
Just the
spend
once.
spend your 10 gold. Go ahead and mark it off. All right, and you go out on a rambunctious night of hitting as many places as you can: after parties, house parties, hotel parties,
Okay.
gambling the night away, flirting with people's wives, or their husbands. Either way,
Or both.
everybody. And that is what you do. So Lucrezia disappears.
Whee!
Anything else before we move on to day 4?
Griffin.
Oh,
That'll be my afternoon.
So go ahead and mark off your cost of materials, and then I need both of you to roll for your
I need to.
interactions.
Yes.
10,
20.
10 silver and a gold.
What?
10 silver and a gold.
Yes.
For
10 silver and 1.
okay.
For what?
So if I had just I'm trying to.
For me?
Yeah, it's 2 silver, so I have 8 silver.
Talking about for meat.
Because I had 1 platinum.
Okay. Law was.
Or-
Okay.
Write down everyone's numbers.
So we're doing random right
Yeah, he already did his. What was your 20, right?
Nice.
Did you get 2?
No, better than 2.
It was 6 today.
4.
Did
6.
you count our other ones?
I did.
I would like
What was your number?
Today?
Yeah.
6. Or no. Yes, 6.
Seems to be going well for both of you. So, you go out carousing. You guys hang out in the town for the evening.
I'm going to sneak off by myself into the woods.
It's
Mhm.
fine. If I find myself without companions, I'll head back down to the docks.
Okay.
I like the docks.
And I'm going to pop the shell out.
Are you or have you attuned to it yet?
I don't know, it's been with me the whole time, so I don't know.
You don't know. You're gonna blow in it. Go ahead and make a performance check, please. See if you can actually get it to go.
Would this be considered a horn?
Yes.
Okay, then I am not proficient with it.
Okay.
Because I am proficient with ocarina.
No, yeah, it's a horn.
15.
15. You go to. And as it begins bellowing out, you can actually almost like see the sound coming off it. Like there's this like. And it starts to get popping out before it keeps going. Alright. You just stop and you notice that like the grass is actually being pushed away from you as you blow on it.
Oh, that's bad.
Like, oh,
So I'm going to tuck it away and just wait.
see if anything happens.
Anything horrible.
You wait. Nothing seems to happen. You get the sense you might have to blow on it a little bit longer.
Well, fucking do it. Someone try to.
Yeah, just.
I'm going to take it one more time and just...
Go the whole distance.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a performance check, please.
16.
16. And that is where we're going to take our break.
Okay.
So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to go down. We're going to use the restroom, grab some water and everything like that. So please hang out with us for a little bit longer while we go down and come back up. So we will be right back, guys, and find out what happens when he blows the horn.
The horn. So yeah, with the conch shell, you actually knock off the crest, the very top of it. You blow through that. play this one.
I miss when games have those little baby
I
ones.
know.
Now it's like,
you
go
play
fuck yourself.
Cheap ass games. It's a brand. They make a
Oh,
bunch
are
of
we
different
back?
games.
Yes.
Yeah, we're back.
Oh, hey.
Cheap ass games is basically they give you the board, but it's just note cards. They have a card with the rules, and
Would you
then
like
you
to try?
supply the pieces with whatever you have on hand. So like I play games where we had like
yeah,
a
we'll
bullet
put it in the fridge
and a
for now,
button
because I gotta move.
and like
it.
a ball of lint as the player characters, and then you go through and there's cards and everything. We played a Kill Dr. Lucky, and that one's a really fun game. It's like Clue,
still have
but
it or
it's
not?
I don't have it. I didn't own it,
Mm.
but they're cheap. They're cheap ass games. Like they cost like $10 for a board meeting
That's cool.
or less,
Oh,
and they're
hey.
awesome. Kill Dr. Lucky is a lot of fun. If you're looking for a board game to play with
There you
people,
go.
try out Kill Dr. Lucky. It's enjoyable, and you will scream at your friends.
Cool. Wintercat 2000. Thanks so much for the follow.
Oh,
Didn't
yeah.
even see it pop up. Must have been during the
Oh.
break. Sorry, we didn't see it. Didn't
Thanks
even
for the
notice.
follow.
Hey.
But-
Glad you're enjoying it.
Definitely appreciate you hanging out with us.
Oh, there. Oh,
Feel free to
There's
chat it
Wintercat
up.
right there.
Oh,
Wintercat
came up
2000.
right there.
That's why we didn't see it.
Yeah.
It's happened.
weird.
So it just happened. Thanks so much for the follow. So we are back. A dinosaur story. And we're on day 4. For the sake of brevity here, we're going to truncate some of these down. So we'll do one more.
I have a thing I'm going to be doing as well at night.
Yes. One more check for the sewers, and then we'll just carry those on.
Stealth.
Oh wait, sorry. Somebody was doing something ridiculous
Yeah.
Yeah.
over there.
Oh, nice. My
Can
stealth
you-
is 28.
My
So you-
16 performance.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you're blowing into it, you realize that there are like 2 little holes to make different sounds. Which one do you want to play with?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Diddle the holes.
Do, 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 do.
Okay. So as you attempt to play it, you already made your check.
It was 16.
You notice that as you begin blowing on it, you can almost see these rings coming out of it. These sound rings that begin pushing everything away. And as you like keep the pressure on, it begins to get louder, and then suddenly it just begins to like faster and faster, and then boom, and just a 30-foot cone in front of you just gets blasted with sonic destructive force. It begins splintering trees and knocking shit over. You guys in town can hear it. You just hear this thunderous boom.
Would you say it's a Sonic?
Sonic boom. Sonic boom. You gotta hold back for 2 seconds, then forward the button to Sonic boom.
Sonic boom!
Sonic boom. That's why people that play Guile can never get ahead in life. They're too busy holding back.
That is
You're
true.
welcome. You're welcome. Anyway, so with that being said,
I'm gonna, after that happens, we're gonna pull out the bird call stone and just do the Raven's call.
like yes. Surprisingly, kind of hard to hear right now. Mop.
Mop.
So, with that being said, those are
I'm going to put it away and run back.
run out. You notice the guards at the front gate are like super confused. They're in like defensive positions, expecting like some sort of attack.
Crazy lightning strike. Oh.
I'm a fucking child.
So,
Just go fast.
all right. With that being said, everyone want to make the rolls for the sewer exploration for the next week, so we can
I
just go
do.
28 for the stealth,
Yeah. We quiet as shit.
18 for the perception.
18 for the perception. Anything for investigation? Stuck in my head now.
15.
15. So, your next few expeditions from the morning until around noon when you guys decide to pop out before it gets too hot and too smelly, nothing seems to be going crazy in the sewers.
For the nights, I'm going to spend my time down at the dock with Belvin, out and out.
Click on them.
Sorry. And I'm going to be looking for remains from the shipwreck.
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead and make an investigation check for that.
Can I come with you tonight?
I mean, if you decide to follow me some night, you might find out what I'm doing. I'm not telling you what I'm doing yet.
And I'll do that one of the nights.
Carousing.
Sorry, what am I rolling?
No.
Investigation.
Investigation. 20.
20. You do not seem to see any signs
That's
of
fine.
the thing.
I did inspect it. It's like a widow's walk. We're good.
So, with that being said, everyone having been kind of like splitting up, I need animal handling checks from you two, and
Well, that's not bad.
I need a couple of them actually.
Okay. Can you tell us how many?
Yes. second. I need 4, but just go down the line one at a time. Andy
I got you.
or Ma.
So first one's gonna be 5.
Okay.
That's it.
Then
That's
an 18.
14.
Okay.
Then a 21.
Okay.
Then a 14.
Okay.
20 for the first one, not natural.
7,
7.
5, 15.
5 and 15.
Yes.
All right. So let's see, Andy.
Bit. Ah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Mine was a half and finger instead of a main finger.
That looks good.
Almost a full person finger. This is a half one finger.
14. That's with modifiers.
Yeah, that's all with modifiers.
And now for you.
21. Is that crazy? Splits half.
All right. So let me go ahead and write those numbers down before I forget.
It's like throwing a baby.
Okay. So with that being said, by the end of the week, both of your griffins will be done.
Like killed.
No, they will be. They have successfully been tamed.
Yay!
They-
So we can pet them?
Yes.
Can we
However, now there is another stipulation that you are now responsible for their water as well
Can you
while you are.
tell me what all it entails, if everything?
You need to provide food, water, and a place for them to stay. Now, whether or not that's in town or outside of town, that's up to you. But because of the fact that you've been training them, they now solely rely on you guys for their food and water needs. They're not going to go out and get them.
Do they
Unless
have
you teach them to hunt solo, which is going to take up the only skill that they can learn.
Ooh.
So they can only learn one skill, which takes, it's going to take a number of time to teach them that skill. However, they do answer to you. They will listen to you. However, now you need to train them. And that training, they can only hold one skill currently. They can get more later, but they can learn one skill currently, and that could be hunting. They can go hunt, which they can go get food for themselves, or for you guys, you can teach them to go fetch, which means to like be a courier. So you can send them to towns ahead of you or back and forth. You can teach them to be ridden. You can teach them to be combat pets, like attack pets, things like that. It is up to you what you decide to do for their taming.
If
Not
we,
in charge of it, but you should probably teach them hunting.
if we teach them to be ridden, how many people can ride on them?
2.
Which means our potential 30-day trip.
becomes significantly shorter.
Yes.
However, if you mount them, they cannot be taught to attack, and they cannot be used in combat. It's up to you. I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware.
I accept that. I will teach mine to be ridden.
Me too.
Okay. Okay, let me get my taming stuff.
And you
Yeah,
should,
on that-
and
on
you
that-
should suggest to it the idea of hunting. So when the next skill slot comes available, they can just immediately, there you go, go kill a deer. some
If
shit.
you purchase a place for them to stay, you can hire somebody to feed and water them for you.
Oh,
You do not have to do it every time.
Now that being the case, if we teach them to be ridden, is that 2 people can ride with luggage, or?
Yes.
Alright, so like technically being a pack mule isn't necessarily a different skill.
Ooh, let me double check before I lie to you on that one.
Well, I'm assuming a pack mule would be different than riding them with luggage. But
I
I'm
made
just
a list.
wondering,
They're like,
I'm
hey,
just
this is too
wondering
much stuff in the
if I can
bag.
teach them to ride, can I also store their fucking food on them?
Okay, so you can teach them to. Fuck, this thing is freezing. Fetch, ride, perform, find, work, which would be in the case of like carrying shit for you,
Okay.
like being a pack mule. Help, which is help other people, deliver things, or hunt. Those are the things you can do.
so yeah.
No, definitely settle on ride. And then I'm
Yeah.
assuming whatever. So obviously not like 500 pounds worth of shit, but 2 people, some luggage.
Yeah.
Are we going to try to stay with them?
Let's see if we
Yeah. Okay, so we'll spend some time doing that
Yeah, you could probably ask around and find by the staples.
For what?
to try to see if there's anywhere we could stable them in town.
Yes, there are stables in town that you can use, but you do still have to pay the money,
Right.
and you have to pay the guy to
Yeah.
do it.
Then I will tell you that I'm broke. because that was all my money. I believe I even said that out loud, but that was all my money. To be fair. Well, might as well give it to that.
200 gold.
Okay. Well, do you have money then still?
Yes. Frugal.
Lecture me
The rest
right
of us
now,
have
Mom.
savings accounts.
Now, before we go getting these stables and stuff, what's the cost on that?
Hey,
It's going to cost you. So first off, just to teach them to be ridden, it's going to cost you 70 gold.
Right.
Okay.
Pay the Griffin stuff.
No, you pay for the. It's like it's
Treats and saddles.
it's food, water, and everything like that for the time that you have to, and the time you spend. That's the monetary equivalent. So you will have to spend 70 gold to do that.
Okay.
So to stable, however, it is going to be.
Over the course of however long it takes. Which I mean, they seem fairly intelligent.
They are not.
They seem kind of dumb.
Oh.
Spoiler warning: if +5 is the best you can get, they have -4 to their intelligence.
Oh, they're real pretty, but they're dumb.
So their kids got it.
Okay, well, they're kids. They're just kids.
What's the smartest pet you can have?
Yeah.
I would have to look it
I
up.
can-
Okay, I'm just curious if you know if they.
Oh well, hey now.
Yeah, collar, and his
Hey
name
now.
is Jerry.
Hey now.
It's a gigantic poodle. It's a dire
Giant.
poodle.
No, it's Jerry. He's human. He's from Patella.
Well, if,
There's nothing better to do, and he's kind of into this
if
dumb
we
plan.
give them a circlet of intelligence.
Could we put things up?
You could also give
Yeah.
cast awakening on them and they get sentience. But do you really want a pet with sentience? After they've been watching you
My
do
name is
terrible
Snuffles.
things behind closed
That's my
doors?
straight
I've
name.
had a sword with sentience,
Snowball.
and it turned out meh.
It turned out just okay.
Well, my thought is,
Eh.
all the weird shit you do in front of your pets, they don't do in front of other
Really?
people. Yeah.
Because I don't need that anime happening where suddenly it's a
Okay,
fucking person that's
it
like,
is
"See what you
2 gold per day
Okay.
to hire somebody to
That's why you don't give animals sentience. You just eat them.
tend to the animal for you.
2 gold per day.
2 gold per day.
That's not bad.
And then for the stable fee, it is 5 silver per day.
Oh, that's not bad.
2 gold per day. How
So
many
you-
days?
How long are you guys gonna be here? The
5
training.
gold.
We're still
You're not
waiting
sure
for
how
that.
long the training is gonna
It's
take.
5 gold every 2 days. Yeah, it does.
So if you guys are doing this for a
5
week,
silver.
that means you're gonna
So
have
I'm
to
holding this sword.
just like
You wanna
walking
go-
around.
Would
with
you like
it.
to go see the blacksmith? She apparently is okay at what she does.
Well, I mean, I had one crafted back in.
Well, like,
A sheath for it? Metal sheath?
Yeah.
Oh,
It took
there's a
us
sheath
3
waiting
days to
in
train them?
Patella. Alava's the
we spent like 3 days, like, to tame them.
Or in
No,
Alabra.
you spent much longer than that.
No, I mean, like, this week.
That city was a lot.
Like, how long did we just...
Every day.
So it's
The-
been a week right now?
By the time the training is complete, you're on day 5
Okay.
of your.
So then so far we would spend 2 days out of the week for the stable and stuff?
Yeah, you
Because the
only-
70 includes the
yeah,
rest of it.
because you'd only need to pay for the last bit,
Okay, the last 2 days.
So
and then
5
you'd have to be
75.
pulling them out daily to try to train them.
Well, I took the... So you...
You garner an enormous amount of
Yeah,
attention
5 gold.
Mhm.
bringing
2 days,
the
10
griffins into the city.
10 silver, 2 gold.
Kids, old people, the guards especially. Word gets out pretty quick that you guys have these 2 things that are running around.
Yeah.
So like 500?
I would
5
like to
gold every
go
2 days.
at the
2.5
end
gold
of
a
this
day.
whole endeavor with the explosion. Just go up to Mr. Solvis. So, I have a story for you.
70 plus.
Here it is.
75.
Oh.
75. It's 75.
Me and my new friends or companions, whatever you want to call them, explored the sewers. Apparently they have something that's in there that cleans it. Other than that, just shit and water.
See if you can know.
Shit, and water.
I will also go by that bar
Mm-hmm.
and look for a letter for me.
Oh, yeah.
You mean they have like a ooze down there?
Maybe.
Picking stuff up?
I haven't
sounds
spent a lot of time in sewers, so
Some
your
places do
guess
that.
is as good as But I did get this. I hold out the Stafford bird calls. And also there was an explosion outside of town.
I heard of the sound. I don't know what that. I thought they were like doing marching formations or something. Battle drills out there.
Some dumbass mage casting shatter.
So don't ever blow into a
Dumbass spider cast.
a conch shell.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually a poor idea.
It's an oddly specific thing to say. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. And before I leave, I just do the raven call and
Run out.
There's only two things you can't take back: a steak and ice cream.
Hey, what's that? What's going on over there?
Giggity. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Screw the guards. Giggity.
Yeah.
So how long will it teach us to take a new ribbon?
Take us.
You don't know
Depends.
how long it'll take.
Yeah, meatball hair.
After the sewers and cleaning,
Well, that was what that
Yeah.
70 gold
I'll
was.
just focus
Yeah,
on
that's
teaching.
what I was.
What? Yeah, the 70 gold
Oh.
is to teach it, but there's no distinct.
There's no time
time
constraint
limit
on
right
that.
now.
Gotcha.
It's like
Fair.
the taming
Cool.
thing.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You just expend the money, and that means it'll happen
Yeah.
as you work with it.
That's what you're doing.
So that's what
Okay, so that's the rest of your
Gotcha.
week. Okay.
Unless something special happens.
However, so for our special event, our good friend Lucretia, her night of carousing.
Oh yeah, I was wondering what happened with that.
There you go.
I thought we were like, John, you went crazy. Like,
There you
oh,
go. Thanks.
That's
for
not as
thanks
fun as
for
I
the
thought it
donuts.
was gonna be.
You head out carousing.
You got pregnant.
Uh,
No.
With purpose.
Twice.
Okay.
No.
you manage
I
to.
do have something else I'd like to do with her first.
Okay.
Oh.
Go ahead.
The books and the maps and shit.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Her first.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Correct.
So I think it was day 3. You said.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
So on day 3, you went out carousing. You went to you went to a couple pubs. You just like stopped into like these little like hole in the wall kind of bars. Met some old people that are like career drinkers. You got them whipped up into a frenzy, spending money. You just started getting drunk. Started challenging people to playing cards, to dice, to anything you could. Started gambling. You did gain 24 gold pieces.
Oh, yay!
shit.
So the following morning, as you wake up in a drunken
Okay.
stupor on the back of a chair, basically having to like flipped around and draped yourself over the front in a drunken state, you find that you have
drool on the table.
24 additional gold on you. And as you kind of sit there and you try to remember some things, the door gets bursted open, bah, and like just like slams open, and this like portly gentleman comes out with like thinning on top but like little thick hair on the side, and he just looks at you and he's like, "You stay away from my wife." And then he turns around and limps out and slams the door
Depends on
behind
if
him.
she's hot. Ugh. I don't care.
She's not.
You seem to have a pain right here. It seems to be a hickey on your neck.
What are you, 12?
16.
Oh,
She's
It's
a
like a
dapper
cry.
young lass right
Yeah.
now. Because she drank a magic potion like an idiot.
Hey, yeah.
It healed in some ways.
Yeah,
I may have
it
advice
literally
on that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Alright.
that was your experience for the evening.
Okay.
You
Nice.
you found it to be quite apparently eventful.
Okay.
There might have been a bar fight. You can't remember, but ultimately.
She have
you
teeth
found-
in her pocket?
I'll go check to see if I
Where's
got my
my jaw?
teeth.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Okay.
So that was your night of carousing, as it were.
The only other 2 things I want to do for the week before, as I just want to try to find gun ammunition and
Oh yeah,
get
this
stuff
one,
to make smoke bombs if I can. Try to make some smoke bombs. That's it.
Can't make an investigation check.
Oh, she didn't find
Natural
anything.
one.
No, negative. So
Damn it! For
No
all
luck.
things.
no luck on the. You can make one more for the smoke bomb stuff.
Okay, that
Alright.
was way better.
Yeah.
20.
Yes, you'd be able to find some materials. Go ahead and make a check with your proficiency in your tools.
Okay. Is Dex my tools? Or
No. What tools are you using?
the alchemist kit?
Alchemist kit. It's going to be intelligence plus
Your proficiency, which is plus 3
18.
now.
18. You are unable to make
Oh,
any.
Oh, wow.
wow.
Any crafting DC is 20, just so everyone is
Sure.
aware. That's the base DC. So, no, you get the materials. You don't waste any, but you. So go ahead and mark down the materials
Wait,
for
you get
3.
20.
Not natural or
They rolled a 19.
did I roll 19?
Yeah.
Oh. Or 18.
Plus proficiency
You rolled a
plus.
19. Or, oh no, I'm sorry, you rolled a 19 on finding the shit. That's my mistake. Sorry, I didn't look at this at the third roll.
Okay.
It's the second roll. You rolled 19 on for finding the
Okay.
materials.
Oh,
So you have enough materials for 3 smoke bombs. You haven't wasted any, but you also haven't put anything together yet.
You just slam some bottles next to each other. Like, this isn't
Apparently.
working.
What else you want to do?
Books and maps from the ship.
You grab the together. You want to look at them over, or what?
After feeding and fucking around, I grip it.
You look over, poring over the nautical maps. They are a map of the top portion of the map seems to be the south end of this coastline. Of like it has Galarin marked on it. It has Cyrodiil marked on it. It has open sea, and it has like these lines drawn, basically like almost like their own version of longitude and latitude lines on it. And there seems to be an island drawn much to the southwest.
East. Oh.
Yeah, southwest. There seems to be an island drawn on it with like a little
Oh,
cove.
up here? Galarin?
No, but different. So like Galarin's up here. There seems to be an island drawn,
Oh.
and it seems to have a course plotted from there to other points.
Wintercat is concerned that Kretzy's going to wake up pregnant.
Also a possibility.
Oh my
No,
god.
I mean,
That
it's
would
going to
change
be
the
pregnant
whole
with
game.
purpose.
Okay.
Only with
You're
purpose.
pregnant with children.
Oh my god.
It's always a
There's another adventure!
Parasites.
That was your choice.
So you, that is what those maps detail. They also seem to detail the area between of Alavra and Lorin on basically all the way up to the Lost Isle in the center. So you do recognize the outlines as being they're all nautical maps, but of those passageways, mostly of that area. Including marked with like, calm belts and such.
I don't have a friend, Randy.
Well, fucking Randy. The book, however, seems to be the captain's log. It seems to detail his
Sorry.
huh
I said Stardate.
captain's log. But it seems to detail the information leading up to his untimely death.
Hey, Theta, can I
Hmm.
give you? Oh well.
What?
I just need somebody to talk to.
Okay.
However, what you do find in the book is basically he talks about hitting ships. He talks about finding a bunch of treasure, not only like on boats, but he also talks about going into the building that was discovered on the in the southeast, which is now marked on one of his nautical maps.
Oh, nice.
And he picked up, he found a treasure chest in there that they promptly removed and brought to the ship because they were afraid of the monsters that were within the temple itself. However, when they loaded everything into hold, they went back to port, they unloaded all the treasure chests. One of the treasure chests wouldn't move. They couldn't get it off the boat.
Wintercat says, y'all are really fun, by the way.
Oh,
Thank you. Happy to be here. There's a follower Discord as well that you can pop into.
Did he grow up into a ship?
Chat with him.
So you get the sense, he starts talking about how they couldn't get it off, and then they couldn't get it open. Like, no matter what they did, they couldn't seem to pry the chest open. They couldn't get it off the boat. And so they ended up leaving it there, and then suddenly a crewman went missing while they were at sea, and then another one went missing, and they kept having to pick up new ones at port, and then suddenly it just started getting more and more people started to disappear, and they started to think the ship was haunted, and how he was getting mad. He was getting madder and madder that either people were abandoning ship because of the rumors, or because people were just disappearing or whatever. And the last mention in there is that he started to sprawl about how he thinks the walls are watching him and how they're alive, and that's the last entry in the book.
Damn. Yeah. Also missed the message. Wintercat is afraid of the ocean and awaits the adventures on a frozen isle hidden in a thick fog on the sea. Because that's how it always happens.
So that already happened.
That was some
missed it.
bullshit.
Actually,
My shipment of rocks! That was a side campaign.
They made it.
That made a little wizard very angry for no reason at all.
So, that is what you discovered from the books. Anything else? It's you two?
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh,
Because otherwise I can fast forward.
so that explosion?
Hmm.
That was me.
Oh, I heard that. You look pretty good for having exploded.
I just need to tell somebody, keep that to yourself if you don't mind.
Okay. How did you explode?
Once I figure that out, I'll let you know.
Okay. I want to see it because I have an axe that explodes, but I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah.
Maybe we can pair the explosions up and see whose explosion is bigger.
Does the punch ball there have anything?
No, have you plus one?
It is a shield +1, I believe, right?
Can I punch?
You can always do that. You don't have
It's a bonus action.
It is a bonus action, and it does not have. You can't use your modifier for it. It's strength based, but since you're not proficient in it, you don't get to use your proficiency bonus.
Right.
But if it hits, it deals 1d4 plus strength modifier.
Oh, nice.
Or no, sorry, 1d4, no strength modifier because you don't have 2 weapon fighting. But there you go. It's better than 1 from a punch.
It is. And it's a bonus action.
Okay, so you guys spent your week gallivanting around. Anything else last minute?
Just again searching the warp, but
Okay, so with that being said, you guys spend the week on and off, maneuvering about, getting the sense. Probably about
we're in
midweek.
the city.
Yeah, getting used to the city. About midweek.
Oh, and checking for my letter at the end. That's right. I almost moved her up.
You do not get one.
Okay. That's fine.
However, the
As long as I'm checking.
probably about midweek is when basically like a group rotates in like one of the fighting force or one of the
Platoons.
one of the platoons that are in defense of the area rotates in. Kind of takes some like time at home. You get to see like some younger people start to pop
Hey.
up. They like return home. They doff their armor, and they begin kind of like living normally for a while. They're there for probably up until you leave. They'll be there, but you see that they start to like have this cycle of rotating people back in from the front. But from there, you gain, the bars start to become more lively. People start spending money, which drops the prices down a little bit. Huh? No, you caroused before. But you ultimately, what you hear is that they're currently entrenching because most of the fighting seems to be happening closer to the north, towards actual Batella and towards the new capital, which is what they're concerned about losing. Some of the information you hear is that since the new capital is relatively unguarded as they build it up, they're concerned about it being overrun and then being used as a stronghold against them. But right now, like Galarin itself isn't directly threatened, but they have heard reports that Fort Coroness to the west is currently being pincered between two sides because as the lizard men move in, the Drow are using that opportunity to do raids. So rumors are that the fighting over there is like much greater. Even like places like Gromber have been reported being hit.
Are they holding?
Yeah.
We're okay. Cool.
For now, they seem to be holding. And then Batella.
With no real effort. It's just a more intense fighting.
Yeah, it's more.
But they're still okay. Just
They seem to be
trying
doing well.
Trying to get a sense. Okay.
The other concern is that they don't have a teleportation circle, so they can't bring reinforcements in quickly. So
Those take a long time to set up.
people seem to think that Batella might use this city's teleportation circle to start bringing troops in and out. Much,
However, they have a commander with them. They have a commander with them.
They would have had one with them when they came in, but like everyone else, he would be out of, he would be off duty. So it wouldn't just be like that. The guy's the leader.
I would like to spend some time, if we hear those guys hanging around, talking to them and trying to figure out who their commander is and where he is.
Okay.
I want to talk with him.
Let me get the notes from their thing.
So are you guys part of the war effort?
And if I have to break into his house, I'm okay with that. Like if they can only give me an address and I can show up in his drawing room or some shit,
Mm-hmm.
I'm down.
There was talk of it, but we opted to aid the Baroness on her way home.
Go ahead and make we'll say persuasion, since you'll be interacting with people.
Those aren't good.
No.
I believe my persuasion is +0, which gives me a grand total of 4.
Ultimately, you can't seem to get a straight answer. You get like, oh yeah, he lives down there, he lives over here. Most people are kind of weary because they don't know who you are and they're not experienced with you. No one seems to want to give it up so easily. So for the most part,
Can I just try to surveil him?
They haven't given you anything. to
Nothing.
go on.
Okay.
They haven't like. It's basically like, oh yeah, our commander, yeah, he's over there,
Can
kind
I,
of thing.
can I try to implore them? Say I've worked with the Duke and this and that, and part of an adventuring band. I have important information for him because I'm just trying to pass information on. I'm literally not trying to do anything shifty.
Make a persuasion check one more time. We'll see. Using a different tactic.
Bro, 6.
6. No.
Bro.
They just seem
And my
kind of.
charisma is 0.
Yeah, no. No
That's
one
fine.
seems to be too adamant about it.
Well, then fuck him.
We had a
It was
question.
helpful information.
What's up?
If is that teleportation thing big enough to transport? Like, if we get the chance to go
Yes.
teleport back in the equipment?
I imagine it's big enough to send about a troop of people
Well, that's what.
in the
Yeah,
circle.
that's what I thought. But I wanted to double check.
That's my assumption.
8 people.
Oh, 8 people.
In this case, it's actually more because it's a bigger circle, but
Hmm.
it's not this. It's not just the spell being cast. So, with that being said, you guys spend the remainder of the week here, hanging out. You hear some of those rumors, and around about day 8, there seems to be a bit of a commotion in the central keep area. At which point, a runner is sent to come find you. One of the guards basically just tracks each of you down, and he's like, "Oh, you are needed at the keep this afternoon at like this time, basically."
I'll drop everything I'm doing. Head that
Yeah.
way. Even if it's mid-sentence. I
Same.
would walk away from trying to convince a guardman, my hands on his lapels. Tell me where you're committed! Oh, alright. See ya. It's clearly isn't working.
Strange marble.
Let's go.
What were you doing?
I'm reading.
He's reading a book.
Captain's Log.
Yes.
Interesting read.
So, you guys
Something about the
are
rain.
escorted to the keep, as you have been a number of times now. You recognize the layout, same as double doors opening into a pretty lavish sort of interior that is built in tiers, that as each door is pinned open, you can see further and further into the keep itself, and ultimately being led to the stained glass picture window, the kind of like reddish carpet that leads up to a raised dais that you now know is basically an elevator, where a throne sits, and the Duke is currently sitting there, and he seems engaged with another individual that 2 of you recognize as a short, robed figure holding a book. He has glasses on, seems to be a halfling gentleman.
Wait, no, I totally have his name. Don't give it to me.
How
I have
far
it.
away are we?
Probably like
His name is Edmund!
20 feet. As you're
So
like
sad.
approaching, you see this.
Just an halfling. I want to say good morrow, brother.
As they're talking, he turns around and he's like, in halfling. He's
When
like,
I see his
"Morning.
face, I'm gonna go, Edmund!
Hello, everyone.
You're a long way from home.
Yes, I was sent here.
That's the best news I've heard all week. One of my friends died.
Okay. He turns back to the Duke and he bows. And he's like, I am so sorry. I was just teleported here. I didn't really pick where I went.
Yeah.
It just kind of happened.
Hooray.
But I am here to pick up these people and take them back with me. So, are you all ready to go?
We have to grab our griffins.
Oh, okay. Well, I will teleport you back when you are ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Excellent.
I will wait.
They're not, though.
We'll return shortly.
We'll be
Okay.
right back.
Oh, you know what? I need to run an errand.
Okay.
Okay.
He just stands there like,
I'm not gonna be like, what are you doing?
Where are you from? Or are you from
What are you doing, Dana?
Patella?
from the town.
I don't want to tell you. Dana.
I teach intro to
You
magic
digging next to my dead body.
at the Arcane Athenium.
Yes.
I'm from Denver.
As we walk out, I'd like to bring up.
Welcome
you don't think
to a
it's
better
just
place.
like embedded to them.
Who?
in this-
We have a Tanner from
In general,
Damon.
these guys work with the
Back in
Kingdom.
Matella.
They serve the kingdom at large.
Let me.
They
What
might-
is his name? He tries to remember.
Back. By the way, you owe us. You're all fighting the
As you've probably already
Let's say.
learned, you not being attended anywhere you want to, you can always take off into the night and leave.
Yes, the master leatherworker, Mr. Urib. He is a refugee from
I know Rip. He's a nice guy.
This is all in half.
Yeah, in halfling. He's
Bye.
just going on.
Yeah, I know Rip. He's a nice guy. I'm just gonna say that in common.
Not wrong.
Where is Urip? I have his name here
He's
somewhere.
like, oh, I don't like this. Bye.
Not due diligence.
Urip
Number
Wither?
16.
Do you know what,
That's
He's
Orin.
like, drink
Orin.
something.
Okay.
Pretty
Cool.
again.
That's fine. That's fine. I got a lot of names. Yep, Urip.
Do you know?
Oh yeah, he's got brown hair.
Yes.
Urip, brown hair. Got it.
That is not incorrect.
Literally the only note I have
Alright.
about him.
So you were doing a thing.
I am. I'm
Do
doing a
you
thing.
happen to know what part of Danny he was from?
I don't
Did you?
really interact with it. I just happen to have seen
We're
him a couple
talking
times
about
around
that
town.
as really?
We talked due to our height similarities.
I've talked to him because he made me some cool stuff. Do I know anything special about him?
You do know that he's a refugee from Damon. He doesn't take no shit. He's pretty
Yeah.
aggressive for a person. Yeah, he just kind of like, he waits. You guys grab the griffins
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and you lead them back to back towards the keep. The guards are kind of like amazed is the good way to describe that. They're like, oh, what the hell?
Did you
And they
put-
just stare on.
no.
Low key,
Zon.
a winter is a random enemy NPC that can appear if someone consumes 3 frozen gold pieces.
Nice.
I want to try it.
terrifying.
That's like a Minecraft hack.
Also, you get poison from the gold.
Would you?
Later.
Free?
Later,
That's
when
that's
the
like
next
20 years down the
Three,
line, you
yeah.
just die from
Oh, my bones
hepatotoxicity.
hurt. Like,
Bone hurting.
I'm pretty sure your ass will hurt first passing them. Do they have to be
They
solid
come
gold? Or
sideways.
can you like break them up and then eat them? 'Cause I mean,
So you, as you guys bring them through, however, you notice the Duke kind of like stand up as you bring the griffins in, and he's just like, "Really? Have you had these the whole time?"
Yes.
well,
Yes. But
had is a strange word for this situation because they didn't belong to us, but we like found them and then we.
We tamed them.
Tamed
Can a
them.
creature ever really
Yeah.
belong to you?
Yeah. You say that out loud.
The young halfling, he's just like, "Oh, excellent. We're ready now." And then he
Yes.
begins walking away. At which point the Duke's like, "Hold.
We didn't find them in your country.
That's
That's what
well, also calm down."
we're in Alavra.
I'm at-
I don't know.
No, he's Galerin.
Yeah.
Fresno.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm not
Okay.
there.
And you're following
You
along.
just you tell
No, no, I'm not there.
Oh, you're
Oh,
not there
you're
yet.
I'm running an errand.
At which point he's like, "They seem quite used to you.
Yes.
Are they somewhat domesticated, it seems?
Yes. Yes.
Are you interested in selling them?
Not at this time.
I mean,
Or you like. They're not really trained to do anything yet, you know.
I have beastmasters that could work alongside them.
I don't want something like that.
I will need both of them, however."
No.
I guess not then.
Doesn't he hold the leash? No.
Although, how much would you be willing to?
Yeah, just to entertain an offer.
3,000 gold apiece.
That's so much
Sell their babies.
You just
I don't
wanna
know.
heal
Oh,
before
can we check
griffins?
the gender at some point of those things?
Not
Do
yet.
you know how to?
Ah, shit.
Do you know how to gender a griffin?
I'd figure it out.
Look,
The
we.
lion part is in the back.
Hey, we just became friends with them. I'm not putting my hand in.
I just wanna-
part is in
Could I just skirt around the back of them?
Fuck.
And look,
Yeah.
make an animal handling check.
Alright.
Where
That's way
fucking
easier
boots
than
you're
the
in.
part.
I want to say this is a way that if it tries to hit me in the face, it doesn't fucking.
You're gonna kick my horse? Now
Yeah.
imagine a horse with talons.
3.
Let's do it.
As you kind of like wheel around the outside, you notice the thing like tilting its head, like trying to follow him, and it's trying to keep side by side with you. So it's getting more and more like, and it's like turning its head back towards him, and then its like foot begins like coming up like defensively, and you just instinctively kind of like take a couple more steps back, like, oh, I'm just over here, terrible, not doing anything.
Looking at
What
this
was I
curtain
doing?
over here. I appreciate the offer, but I'm not ready to sell my griffin. Maybe in the future we start breeding them when we find out their genders.
Is that your answer, sir?
If
They
you
just
breed
let that
them,
heartbeat.
I'm more than happy to take any eggs or I don't know, offspring. I'm not sure
Yeah,
how
I
they.
don't know either.
It will be an adventure for all of us.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll totally talk to you when that happens, if that happens. I don't know if they're gonna do things yet.
Interesting.
Is he still staring at us? Mom? Is he still looking at us? Uh-oh. Is he gonna fight us?
He's just kind of like,
Well,
What?
So
I
much
want
gold,
those.
though.
I know.
Jeez. You know how many magical items you could buy for that? This is a drop off in money sink.
I wonder how much we could sell the babies for though each.
well, we should probably head
I
out
feel like that's like a
for
longer.
the half.
Well,
The other half.
before you leave, of course, as agreed upon, he produces scrolls for access into the
Oh, yeah. the
nobility
noble
district
Yeah.
Thank you.
forever
Nice.
I'm not
for
there.
your group.
We're gonna be all highfalutin.
Yeah. This is how we get kicked out of the nobility.
Right by reason where it's like, I'm sorry, highfalutin.
It's not much
Uh,
better.
And as a friendly reminder, I would caution against using the name in high society
Right.
for fear of repercussion.
Right.
Those that do not want to know where or get out where she was.
Don't want to walk to somebody and just to ask.
Yeah. With that being said, should you need any provisions or assistance,
They're all male. You'll be trying to
send
reach her if
word
it's
back
making a
and I will be
reference.
able to send some out to you. I do have a limit to my ability and graciousness.
Of course.
However-
I hope our
It's
only
just- it's
and
the
next
ethics.
encounter will be some positive news for you.
Excellent. I expect good things from all of you, so enjoy.
Thanks.
He kind of like waves you, and you guys step out. Mr. Theta, what are you doing?
I think it's just reformatting. Sorry, chat's having a heart attack, and not in a normal way. It's just like it's updating, but nothing's actually changing.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's exciting.
Okay.
Can you draw me a quick air map of the city? Prince's Palace.
So
okay.
this is the coastline.
Yep.
South. Okay. Coast. The keep is here.
Okay.
The main road comes north and south,
Okay.
and then there's a cross road that goes.
Okay.
But those are the main
Okay,
ones.
Cool. Griselda's.
Griselda's here.
Okay. That blacksmith chick.
Blacksmith's like next door.
Perfect.
Not too far away.
Perfect. I'm gonna head to Griselda's, but I'm gonna stop by the blacksmith girls.
Okay.
Place.
Stop by the blacksmith's.
You're fucking
I think he was doing that while we were getting the griffins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna open the door. To the
Okay.
blacksmith.
She's currently dealing with some customers, basically like pricing out how much it would cost to do horseshoes and stuff like that.
Oh, like how many customers?
There's probably about 2, but
Oh, perfect. I'm gonna push my way past them and move
Okay.
them out of her line of sight.
okay. She
I'm
like,
just going to shove them to the side.
she like looks
Walk up
down.
to the counter. Hello, you remember me?
Yes.
Oh, good. So we talked with the prince, and it turns out that your father he's far away doing something in a holy-ish place. So it is a location dependent job and needs to be done elsewhere, and that's why nobody has had any word with him. Also, don't bother talking to the attendants because they really don't care. Like they'll pretend to care, they might smile to your face, but they're not going to do any work for it. I was in there. We talked to a lot of people. He's not on the grounds or under the grounds or any of those silly things. And the prince doesn't have any chambers down in the sewer. We checked, just on the DL. We were on his beach and we took some detours and looked. And there's nothing. Yeah. So your dad's off on an away mission, not anywhere near this land. So I'd say don't fret on it and try to make sure that your business doesn't go under while he's waiting, so you can come back with something successful.
Okay. Thank you.
But thank you. Have a wonderful day. I'm gonna leave.
She nods. Okay.
Completely disregarding the other people in the shop. Fuck off.
And then you exit out and head to Griselda's.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's good news
Okay.
about your dad.
I'll walk in, or I'll knock on the door and walk in. Hello?
She's still in there, hanging out.
Hey, we were here. You gave my friend a potion. It healed her, kind of. And yeah, honestly, it worked out.
Ah, yes. Hello.
Hello. I just wanted to let you know that you were very pleasant while we were visiting this town. We're heading out soon. We're leaving. But I wanted to thank you for your shop and for your wares and for your very diverse inventory. I appreciate it. But yes, I just wanted to say goodbye. I talked to you several times, and you were very pleasant to me, and you sold me wonderful things, and didn't seem to mark it up too much, because I'm not human. I appreciate that. So, you have a wonderful day. Are there any messages that you would be interested in me carrying to Batella for you? Anyone there you wish to contact?
No, but if you find a good location to set up shop.
I will send you a letter. I'm not sure how I'll send it. Fair warning. It might be a griffin.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Whatever that is.
It's a half lion eagle thing. They're monstrous. You put about 2 people astride them. We have a pair, so they might be letter carriers. Just FYI, just so you're not terrified if I have them, just know it's a normal thing.
Okay. All right, dearie.
And it also might be a message in your head. I know some priests, so. But yeah, I will keep an eye out. Thank you.
You need more voices in there. Well, you need anything else?
No, honestly, I think I'm solid. Unless you got anything peculiar. I take a quick look around and see if there's anything that really stands out, like that doll I picked up. There's nothing? Okay,
No.
cool.
Mostly just fucking
That's what I figured.
shenanigans. Yeah.
A ribbon with demonic script on it. A broom with an angry face.
Does she have-
Uh,
does she have-
no, she's not fucking. It's wartime and they're on a fucking coast.
It's the same shit that was in there before. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well then, fairly well. I appreciated it, and hopefully you have a wonderful, nice, long life. Goodbye. I'll probably never be back.
It's been long enough.
Oh,
Walk
God,
out.
I'm done with this
Get back to
shit.
the
Like,
I don't want to go back. I hate it here. Because it's not where I'm at. Fuck.
okay, so you exit out, head back?
Yep.
I'm
Excellent.
sorry, Edmund. I don't. Mind his own. Mind his own.
You guys are led out towards the right-hand side of the keep. You exit out into a nice little hallway that has well decorated, and you're brought down all the way to the end of the hall where there is a single door. It looks like a stone door that is currently propped open. You can see the drag marks on the ground where you have to forcibly push it open, kind of thing. And you're led inside where there is a decent-sized room with a very large inscribed arcane circle, and you wait for Theta. You're led in. As soon as you enter, the Duke's out of the main room, and you just kind of stand there for a minute. And then you see the other doors open, and you just see everyone kind of way down to the end of the hall. You go running down that way. Edmund's just kind of standing there staring awkwardly. The room kind of gets
Hello,
cramped
Edmund.
once you lead in 2 very large griffins.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys all sit inside. For a minute, he just stands there. And he's like, once everyone kind of gathers together, he's like, oh, excellent. And he opens up his book and he begins flipping through. Oh, lost it. There it is. Okay. He touches the floor and flashes. And in a brilliant arcane flash, you feel this pressure push outwards. And then suddenly there's this listlessness feeling. And then you're inside the arcane Athenium. And that is where we'll call it. That is the end of the session today.
And immediately start trying to calm the griffin down.
Yes.
It's just their wings are starting to beat
Scream.
upwards. It's
No.
looking around.
That little shit doesn't even like being picked up. Put it in the car, much less
Oh, me?
being teleported via arcane transition.
He's
So,
they're
um,
for no reason.
next time we will continue with the search for the missing queen and whatever adventurous lands may take you.
Yeah.
So, thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
Kat, by the way, if you like Sailor Moon stuff, you should go to the YouTube channel and look for some VODs around Halloween. Because there's some
Oh,
stuff
yeah! Oh my God.
that I believe
Wait, I
you
don't
might
know.
enjoy.
Yeah, Halloween.
There's a couple clips with it too, because I was just looking through clips
I have
the
no
other day with my
idea what
coworker.
you're
Because
talking
Sure.
I was looking for
Yeah.
I was looking for the clip
Yeah,
of you in
yeah.
Monster Hunter when you just get trained dead
Immediately.
from Portal.
Oh, from fucking there again?
Yeah.
When I got ran over?
When you were like, all right, cool, we're just gonna cycle around here, and you're dead.
Yep.
Meow. It's one of my favorite clips I've done. So there's no talk back today, guys. Usually at the end we'll go down for a little bit, come back up, and we'll talk about D&D. But unfortunately, we are in the process of moving, and so right after this, we're going to tear down the entire thing and take it away. So
yeah, this is literally the last broadcast in this room.
yeah, in this
Which
area.
is probably a good thing, to be
And
completely honest
well,
with you.
It really is.
The only thing
Because
that'll be
upstairs
different-
neighbors are the worst.
The only thing that'll be different is like there'll be like a little thing of green behind us, I think.
Should be well. It should also be a little bit roomier,
The
and the
acoustics will be
AC.
different.
Oh yeah, we could have the AC on without.
Well, the acoustics will be different. The setup will be slightly different. The lighting will be different.
Yeah.
So look for the difference on the next broadcast on Tuesday because it will be different.
Play a
As
game
a
with
game.
yourself of spot the
And then
difference.
check out the Tuesday after that when we've taken all the differences and gone, wow, we hate some of these, and then tried to fix them
And
as
then
best
we
we
just
can,
move again.
and usually make them worse.
Yeah.
It'll be
Alright.
What were you gonna
fun.
say?
So that being said, we'll see you guys later. So thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Mama.
Kat is glad that they met us.
Well, I hope you enjoy. We're here Monday and Tuesday, so come by every time, all the time. Go to YouTube and you can check out the old videos if you want to get caught up on the narrative.
I mean, if you got time and you want to watch some videos, there's a lot of them. We've been
Yeah.
playing this match for a while. And again, hop in that follower Discord. If you have any questions, ask us.
Yeah.
We are happy to answer the questions about our campaign. We love this campaign. It's
We've
homebrew, made by Soul up there in the corner. He built this world from scratch. We ran our original campaign in it. This is like our first voyage into D&D, like our first real, like, let's figure out how this all works. And we ran this whole campaign in this world with a set of characters. We had a ton of characters. We had a swashbuckler and a paladin and a jackass,
Fighter.
a necromancer that turned evil, and then a fighter and a
What's the first campaign?
Yeah.
The barbarian.
barbarian. Oh, that's right, you were a barbarian. She didn't rage, so it was kind of annoying for her.
So, with that being said, thanks
But
for hanging
then
out.
this is set 15 years in the future from that.
Really quick note, September 5th will be a year since we started this one.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wait, I'll be here for the 5th.
Yay!
Sweet.
Okay, cool. I was
So
like,
our
oh shit, I'll be
second
'cause I'm
year
going on
anniversary?
vacation, but yeah.
All right, I'm gonna disappear off screen so I can turn off the cameras and
That'll
stuff.
be a Wednesday.
Oh, also, I will do my best before you turn off the cameras and mic. I will do my best when I'm on vacation to be in chat
Yay!
for the games. But we need to figure out something for my character.
What is your vacation?
It is I'm leaving that
Oh,
day.
on a Tuesday.
in the
Check out
morning.
check out
So
the follower
then-
Discord. It's in the description. So.
Oh, it's under the. It's down there. Check it. There's a click button thing.